Real Nerds is a proud partner of the Denver Podcast Network. In the shadow of the mountains,
we speak.
Hello, everybody. I'm JD Lopez, the host of Left Hand Right Brain. It's a free-flowing, wide-ranging conversation that I have with artists doing interesting and creative things here in Denver and beyond. We talk about their personal stories, break down their creative process, and what motivates them. Spoiler alert, it's mostly spite. We talk about all these things and more while kicking back, cracking wise, and always having a good time. You can find old episodes and everything you need to know at lefthandrightbrainpod.com.
Oh, hi, podcast listeners. There's many ways you can listen to the Real Nerds podcast. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Stitcher Radio. You want to send us a Twitter message? You can do that. It's so easy, at Real Nerds. Like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com, where there'll be a lot of articles for you to not only read, but to listen to our previous shows. You can also call us, 720-6NERDS5. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
I'm Andre Gower.
And I'm Ryan Lambert.
And you're listening to
Real Nerds Podcast.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Pop Culture Con 2020 and beyond. I am Ryan. With me is
Brad
and
Zach.
This week we've welcomed a guest into the Dungeon of Nerdness.
Oh, is that what we're calling it now?
I don't know.
Is that what you call it?
I was going to call it the Terror Chamber, but
The
okay.
Terror Chamber?
The Terror Chamber.
Oh, the Terror Chamber.
Yeah, sorry.
All right.
I was wondering why you guys chained me to the wall.
Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience listening people?
All right, well.
I don't want to hear it anymore from you.
My name is Chad Terry. I am the new producer of the Denver 48-Hour Film Project. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. That's basically
Perfect.
it.
What is a Denver 48-Hour Film Project?
Right.
Don't worry, I do this for a living.
Very good, because by trade I'm more of an actor, and so when I go out places and I'm myself, it all falls apart because you get really nervous as yourself rather than playing a character. So I guess I should create a producer character and just go out as him all the time. He'd probably just be like, nah, 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 nah.
Yes, please have the big cigar extruding from your mouth.
We need those.
Slick your
Come
hair
make a
back.
film in 48 hours, see?
Yeah, right. Man, be
You'll
on
be
time,
famous,
kid.
yeah. Hang the lights.
We'll put you in the pictures, kid.
Who's that? He's Chad. He thinks he's doing something clever.
Right. Cliche Chad.
So
There
what
he
is it? What is a 48-hour film project?
So the 48-Hour Film Project is basically you get a team of. Thank you very much, sir. You get a team of however many people you want, and you make a film in 48 hours. What you do is you show up on a Friday. Every team picks a different genre out of a hat, so you don't know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. And then before we send everybody off, I'll give you a line of dialogue that you have to use, a character that has to be in the film, and a prop that you need to use. That way, all the creative process has to take place within that 48 hours. The only thing that you can do ahead of time is location scouting. That way you know where you can film. But anything to do with writing, shooting anything, you can't use any stock footage, anything like that. All the creative process has to happen within that 48 hours.
You can collect props and costumes ahead of time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's kind of a tricky gray area, because obviously you want to have things just, because you need that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But, you can't be like, well, whatever we pull, we're going to make it a Western, so make sure we have all this Western gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, just be like, well, we need to make sure these people have clothes on them, so.
Or have a rubber chicken available just in case.
Yeah. Always have a rubber chicken.
Rubber
That
chicken,
works for
yeah.
anything.
Also, I recall there was a nudist entry in the 48-hour film.
There
at
was,
one point,
actually,
so you
yeah.
don't even need clothes.
I believe they actually won Best Wardrobe or
Yep.
something like that.
Costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
How'd you get into this position?
So I don't know.
Reading the Kama Sutra? No.
Yeah, Kama Sutra always helps.
Because I realized the question I asked was not a good one. How did you become the producer of the 40-hour film project? There we go.
There we go. So I applied for it, essentially. I've been doing 48-hour films for about 6 or 7 years. My first one was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and as opposed to Albuquerque anywhere else, I don't know. But I came up here. I loved it, and so I found a team up here. Continued to do it, and the producer Kristen Nolan, that's been doing it, I believe, since its inception here in Denver, stepped down, and headquarters sent out an email that said they were looking for applications. And how, I don't know, classic story of like, well, no, they're not going to hire me, so I'm not going to do it. And a friend of mine kind of pushed me and was like, well, why don't you do it anyway? And she helped me fix up my resume a little bit so that I sounded intelligent. I turned it in and I was like, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that, because it really is good to try. And because not only if I didn't get it, I had a better resume at that point because of it. You never know what'll happen. So they emailed me back and were like, hey man, you got it. And I was like, woohoo. And then I threw up and and here we are.
What's going to make your 40-hour film project different than the rest? What are you bringing to the table?
So I'm trying to bring the Denver community. There's entertainment everywhere. Like, so I used to be married and had stepkids and stuff. So I had a family and I had a lot of focus. And so once a year I would do the 48-hour film. I knew that I would do entertainment that time. That has changed, so I have a lot more free time. That's why that's another reason. Yeah, right. That's another reason why I applied. So going out and actually trying to network with everybody has been, honestly, it's been exhausting, just because every night there's something to do and there's different areas that you can go check out and different people you can hang out with. And so what I really want to do is take the 48-hour film project, because it's a once-a-year thing. It's really fast-paced. Use it kind of like just kind of like a filter. Like, everybody kind of funnels into it that wants to make movies and wants to be entertainment, through sound or acting or editing or whatever. Get all those people together and interact with each other, rather than just being like, oh, it's a competition, so here's my film, and I'm throwing that up there and then I'm walking away. Like, no, like, look at somebody else's film, and if you're a filmmaker, say, I really like the way that this sound was. I want to go talk to whoever that is and find out who that is and make something else. We have a whole year that you can do other things that you can plan for and edit and rewrite the script. With the 48, you're under that deadline. So you do get something done, which is really cool. But there's a whole year that Denver as a community can come together and make something amazing.
And you kind of want to push the community element rather than just stressing the competition element of 48 Hour, which has permeated it in the past.
Right, 100%. Yeah. I want to bring people together so that they can step out of it and just do bigger and better things.
So my boy Brad here have you been in every one?
Since 2010.
And he's never won. What the fuck's up with that? He makes the best films.
So I've seen a few of his films, and honestly, they're always better than the ones I was doing. One of my films got the runner-up Audience Choice Award, and I was like ecstatic. Like, for me, that's what it's about. It's we have judges, and I'm not judging. I'm not a part of that panel, so like, coming here on the podcast, it doesn't win you any favors. Sorry,
what
man.
The fuck?
But
get him out of here.
You're a waste of time.
I know.
Your plan failed, Brad.
How does "Don't Be a Pussy" not win Best of the Year?
Right. But so for me, it's I don't know. I mean, the awards are important, and because we can, we move up, we get a best of from Denver. That moves up to all the cities around the world best of. So there's, I think, 130-ish cities now.
Wow.
And then there's another panel of judges that picks their favorites, and those go to the Cannes Film Festival. And so it's an amazing it's an amazing like grassroots way that somebody could get up into Cannes, which is amazing.
I just read an email from the 48 that said a woman who did it one year, she's like the head of HGTV now.
Right. Yeah. I saw that too. I was like, that's that's what I'm talking about, bringing the community together, because when you come together, you can create something better than you can do on your own, And I've seen filmmakers do, they have just an iPhone and they make their own, like, high schoolers, and that's amazing. And that's how you start, and you build on that and build on that.
And even if you don't win, it should encourage you to go out and create even more, like go beyond even the parameters of 48, and
right.
Just like set up, make your own feature, make your own short, whatever you choose to do.
Exactly. And there are once the 48 hours over and everything shakes out, that film that you make is yours.
Yeah.
And so you can take that and be like, I actually really liked the idea that we came up with, and expand on it, make it a series, make it a feature, whatever you want to do with it, which is really cool. Because I always, the one that got the runner-up audience choice, I always thought it'd be really funny to make a series of the Discman guy, Brittany Davies. I mean, it was funny, and it was just out of nowhere. We pulled sports, and I remember vividly, Tim, that was the writer, he was like, we were driving off, and he's like, well, we're done. I guess we're not making one this year. I was like, well, wait, let's think about it. He's like, what are we going to do with sports? Like a baseball thing? And I was like, I don't know. Disc golf is a sport. And you see this kind of like light go off in his head. He's like, oh yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
Element is like those things are open to interpretation. So like, yeah, that is a sport,
right?
But you're also welcome to invent a sport, like as long as the film makes sense.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It could be, somersaults, whatever, or like, or it could be even the World Series of Poker is a sport, right?
Yeah.
E-games are sports, right?
Basketball.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I really like about it too. Is it's fast paced, it's high pressure, and some of the most amazing things can happen when you're pushed. You know what I mean?
And also that work ethic and deadline like translates into the professional world.
Yeah.
So getting a sense of how that weekend shakes out, like that timeline, can translate to like news. The news field, like you have to turn around a story.
Oh, gotcha.
In a short amount of time,
exactly.
Or,
that's why they make up so much stuff with news. They're like, oh, this just in, and we think it means. Oh no, we were wrong.
They show up and they just pull like news topics out of a hat and then generate.
Right. Actually, that's a good premise,
right?
Yeah.
So, can people still register right now? And when does this year's 48-hour film festival drop, or project, whatever it's called now?
Project. It's always been called project.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I always said it was the festival, but
so
I guess it's
actually
a
lot
of
times
people call it a festival.
Yeah, a lot of times people use that misnomer just because the way that it's been done in Denver, it's really the premieres have been done festival style, so it's all day. So but the term is 48-hour film project. So
perfect.
So to answer the question, so registration is open. Early bird ends July 8th. You can join a little less expensive. I think $149 right now.
148.
148. Yeah.
It's a 48-hour.
Brad, do you want his job?
I know, right?
Sorry. Yeah.
Just so everybody knows.
$1.
Just so everybody knows, there's a lot to go on. So I'm like, everything's in my brain.
I saw the job description. I don't envy you. You have a lot to work on.
I do, and I really do have to give credit to Kristen, because I've got an amazing foundation to work with. If I didn't have basically everything set up, it would be. I don't know if I'd be able to do it, but I've got an amazing foundation that I'm going to be able to build off of, and I am going to change it. I am going to tweak it. I'll make it my own. But this first year, I'm going to try and make it as similar as possible. That way people can get to know me, build that trust with people, so that if I do change something, they'll have that trust to kind of go along with me. But yeah, registration is open now.
Where at?
at www.48hourfilm.com
/Denver.
Yeah, if you go to the website, it'll kind of guide you through. Click here, find your city, all that stuff. And we're going to be filming August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That'll be the 48 hours. And then we're going to do the premieres on August 11th.
Wow.
And I haven't set the exact date for Best Of just yet. I'm working on getting the theater shored up for that. So
I always forgot how fast a turnaround is. You know, you think about it, and I understand the film has to be made, in 48 hours, but then it's screened, and then there's a Best Of.
Right.
Yeah, one year we had 2 weeks between the first screening, which was kind of nice for people who like to make posters and T-shirts.
Right, and I was really struggling with that, and as the producing it for the first year, I was like, maybe I do give that extra kind of breath so that I can make sure I get it done correctly for everybody, and it just didn't work out that way. And I was like, oh man, that's going to be go time.
Sometimes it's when the space is available.
Yep.
That's all you can really do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but
and rates go up closer to the event.
Right. So after July 8th, the rates go up. They go up, I think, like in $20, $30 increments, something like that. So, but you can sign up. I mean, as close as day of, if we still have availability. We have availability for 60 teams, and last year we had 58. So I'm trying to push that, and so hopefully next year we can even expand it, maybe 65.
Cool.
So I'm doing the weekend, and it's Sunday at 6 p.m., and our film has barely started editing. What do I do? Do I give up and go home and call it a day, or...
No, you keep editing it. You get even if you can get a crappy edit together and get it in by 7:30, the time that there's the cutoff, great. Or if you really want to take the time to fix it up and edit it correctly and turn it in at 9 p.m., it'll be late, so you won't be able to be eligible for any of the official awards. But we'll still screen it, and you'll still be eligible for Audience Choice Awards, which is my personal opinion. That's pretty awesome. Like, critics are great, and they're there for a reason, but sometimes they don't fall in line with what people actually enjoyed.
Awesome.
So even though I registered, spent the money for the weekend, didn't produce within the time frame, there's still something that you can get out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that I think that helps too, is show you that, deadlines are important. You got to get those deadlines, but a finished product is important as well. If you get up to that time and you decide, well, I didn't get there, so I'm going to give up, that's gonna affect your, I don't know, it kind of affects who you are as a person, I think, maybe.
Don't give up.
Not to put anybody down, but don't give up, man. For me personally, from a personal standpoint, like where I am producing this is amazing for me. I've always loved the 48-hour film project, and to be involved, this is going to sound so cliche, but like I keep telling myself, and when I applied for it, I was like, it's really cool because I love making films and I love being involved with the films, but now I get to be involved with everybody's film. I'm a part of everybody's film, and I think that's neat. I know it sounds like cliche or whatever, but it's awesome.
Well, I mean, you need someone like that to be the producer, because if they're not enthusiastic about producing, then being involved, then they got the wrong person.
Yeah.
This is something I always wondered about, Kristen. Are you allowed to, over the weekend, if someone says like, hey, Chad, like not out of like, hey, maybe we'll get like a better critique for the awards, but just like, can you appear as like a cameo in someone's film if they ask you?
I don't think so.
You're barred from that.
I think, I don't think I'm allowed to be in it at all. And I think because of, if you decide, hey, Chad, why don't you do a cameo? Because I thought about that. I'm like, I want to be in everybody's. Just walk through like Hitchcock.
I always thought it'd be fun to have like the producer to kind of appear for.
Yeah, it really would. But I think that, just from a standpoint of, even though I'm not
Playing
judging
favorites.
them, somebody else is judging them.
Yeah.
I think that just being seen that way could be really bad. And even if you're in 3 or 4 films and then somebody else doesn't want you because they're like, oh, I think that's bad, and and then they don't win anything.
Bad optics.
Right, yeah. So, unfortunately. But I'm more than happy and willing to be anybody's films outside of the 48-hour film project. I do have an extensive acting background.
So he's for hire.
I just love that back to...
Yeah, I was just like, that's a separate issue, though.
No one can see you do that.
Yeah. But if you have seen some of my 48-hour films, maybe you don't want to hire me. I don't know.
He just not so subtly hands his headshots like Tobias Funke in Arrested Development.
Right. Set it right here.
Discman was legit funny. So
It really was. Yeah, thank you very much. I like that one.
So thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever listened, but every week we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience of the world. This week we saw Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
Stay tuned to the end of the episode. We will tell you if you should see the film or not, play the trailer, then spoil it. Chad, have you seen Toy Story 4?
I did not have time. I'm sorry.
It's all right. So you're more than welcome to hang out, or if you want to be like, you know what, I want to find out what happens to Woody and Buzz, then you can tell us to fuck off.
Is that a Kama Sutra reference? Woody
No.
and Buzz again?
Buzz. The Woody Buzz.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
I just thought of Woody in a bad way.
A lot of plastic toys up the butt.
Nope, not that way, but... And we also talk about movies we've been watching, movie news, and movies that are coming out on Blu-ray. And we also go around town. But this week, we did not just go around town with Brad. We went all the way up to the Great White North of Wyoming. And
That's the Great White North?
and Brad is going to tell us about his journey through the I-25, past the Cheyenne, and other cities in Wyoming.
have you ever been to Wyoming?
I have. I've driven through the whole state. I know there's Cheyenne, Sheridan,
Laramie.
Wheatland,
Casper.
Buffalo, where Harrison Ford lives, Jackson Hole, Yellowstone's in it a little bit. Yep, that about does it.
Harrison Ford's in Wyoming.
Chugwater.
Chugwater, that's right. Hey, they have great chili there. I always remember passing the sign as, get yourself some Chugwater chili.
There were a lot of crash planes near Harrison Ford's residence. They just like played about the street.
It's a learning curve.
I'm gonna leave some space for the interstitial for a second.
Hey, film buddies, follow me around Denver.
So yeah, they're very big on advertising against drunk driving,
Good.
which is good. Yeah, but it also tells me that Wyoming still doesn't get it.
Hey,
have to
Mom,
advertise it.
I just crashed my car.
No one's gonna tell me how to drive my car.
Yeah.
It's okay, the road sodas are fine.
Yeah, so I went to basically Powell, Wyoming, to a drive-in that I was at 30 years ago to watch the Avengers Endgame for this 12th time.
Nice.
Jesus.
Was it everything you wanted it to be? Was it worth the drive?
It was. The drive up, there was a lot of there's kind of a lot of traffic. I was hopping cars a lot in the right lane, so that was annoying because I had to be there at 7 o'clock. Actually, I had to be there at 9, but I didn't know that. I didn't know they'd show up half an hour before the drive-in opens up there. And their drive-in is about half as big as ours at the 88. But it was cool. Their projector is also closer to the screen, so it was a lot brighter of a watch. And then just being out in the middle of nowhere under the stars was cool.
Was there a lot of people there?
Yeah, I think probably about the 98% of the place is full.
I thought you were going to say 98% of Wyoming.
About
Everyone in
18
Wyoming
people.
was there.
That's what I love about Wyoming. There's nobody there.
It's literally nothing.
Yeah.
Aw, do we hitch the wagon to go see the end game?
When you start getting to the northwest part of Wyoming, it is really pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then you'd have to live in Wyoming.
Yeah, I was surprised. 'Cause, I expected it to be wide open spaces, but I figured the way that Denver has accelerated and populated so quickly, I figured a lot of those spaces would be full, and no, it's still
What does
long
Wyoming
stretches
mean?
Huh?
What does Wyoming mean? Does anybody know?
No.
Hey Siri. Hey Siri.
It's probably just
Probably named
somebody's
after
last
somebody.
name. Yeah.
Yeah. James
George
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Can you hold up to the mic so we can hear it?
Capital, Cheyenne. Statehood, July 10th, 1890, 44. Acquired, in part, by the Louisiana in 1803. It gave the vote to women in 1869, the first state to do so. Do you want to hear the remaining one?
Oh, okay, Siri, thanks.
We don't know what it means.
Yeah, she doesn't know either. But
we know some neat facts now.
Yeah, now we know some facts about Wyoming.
It's the least populated state.
It is.
It is.
First to give women the vote.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
It
pretty
just-
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what Siri just said.
Oh, see,
Yeah, thanks,
kind of
Siri.
hard of hearing.
1869.
This podcast sponsored by Apple.
My Siri is the Australian Siri.
Because she sounds close to Emily Blunt.
No, it's I change her every once in a while. She was English for a while, then I made her Australian, but now they have Irish and South African, so I don't know. We'll see.
It's
We'll see.
Ryan's own ex
See what
machina.
you're feeling.
Yeah. People think I'm weird because I always thank her, but she dug information out for me. I think it's polite to thank Siri.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
I
going to be
think we
sentient
should
one
get.
day.
Yeah, I was going to say we
know.
should get used to thanking robots.
Exactly, and then she's gonna, when she does become part of Skynet,
Yeah.
she's gonna say, "I remember when that Ryan guy thanked me all those times." So I'm not gonna get a freaking poker through the eye.
Yeah, don't terminate
Right
him.
here, right there,
Yeah.
right there. She
Yeah.
turns to you. You're cool.
I'll let you die last. Hey, Ryan, whenever I said I'd let you die last, I lied.
Have you seen that parody video by Bosstown Mechanics that makes fun of the Boston Mechanics robot tests?
No.
Like, it's amazingly, the CGI is incredible, but, like those headless, just arms, legs robots, they have a bunch of, test scientists, like, throwing packages at it, and it's trying to pick them up, but they're, like, abusing them, and eventually it just turns to, like, them whipping it and shooting it with a gun, and then the robot turns on them. It's fantastic.
That's awesome. So we've been to Wyoming, and you told us about your journey through Wyoming. Did you see any antelope, deer, or elk?
Actually, yeah. So I went up there 8 or 9 hours to get to the drive-in to watch the movie. I watched the movie for 3 hours and immediately went home. So at
wow.
2 a.m., I was driving back to Denver overnight, and within, I think, about 2 minutes of like getting out of the drive-in and back onto the main road, I almost hit a deer. It was crossing the road, and then I got to, I think, what was the town? Thermopolis, and like the main town intersection, there's like a family of deer crossing, the street, and then somewhere kind of between, I think, Cheyenne and there was just a deer's head popped up out of the road while I was like driving. I was like, oh shit, no, he's just gonna hang out. Okay, cool. So, yeah, saw a lot of deer.
Yeah, when I was going to Rod Stewart, because I left at Idaho Springs at 7 at night, so it takes about 10 hours to get to Montana. So it's like 3 in the morning, maybe 4, and I was just to the Montana border, and I remember this vividly. I was listening to Billy Joel's Uptown Girl, and so I'm cruising, and I come over this hill, and as I come down, there is a herd of elk through, like, on this road, and I'm like, fuck! And my my cop like driving brain kicked in, and I weaved through all of them and didn't hit them. And I went, training in real life just came totally true.
And I'm just imagining that all to Uptown Girl right now.
Yep.
It was all worth it.
I've been living in an uptown world. While my
I
gummy
could-
bears and my shit are flying everywhere.
I can see you just like holding the wheel as you're going through, screaming high pitched, like, and then afterwards you thinking you were singing the song as you did it.
No, I'm pretty sure it was fuck. And yeah, but they were scared, so they didn't move. So that's good because I
Right.
went around them like they were cones.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's
There
the,
were cones.
the first one I almost ran
Singer.
into. It was that he looked at the car, the headlights suddenly appeared to him, and he just froze. And
Yep.
so luckily I wasn't going so fast that I couldn't just
I mean,
stop.
I know they're animals and they're not as smart as us, but you would think that they would know that this area has very fast-moving things, and maybe I shouldn't try to cross it.
I think they're attracted to, like, oh, there's daylight over there, so I should go over there because it's not scary.
No, no, no.
And then they get a rude awakening.
Yep.
A rude
You're afraid of
awakening.
the dark.
So, Brad, what's happening in Denver? Tell me what's going on in Denver this week.
The Esquire is alive and well again.
Woo!
You can watch The Dead Don't Die there, but in July they'll finally have their Midnight Madness up and running again, which I believe starts with Alien on July 2nd.
Nice. So, Brad, you've been there. Do you still get the free Colonel Seasonings popcorn seasoning?
Oh, I didn't check.
You son of a bitch! I told you that last week to check for me.
You had one
That's
job.
true.
They may
because
not.
I do listen.
Oh, see?
I know. I remember you asking about that, but their concession stand wasn't 100%. So I think because
So they're kind of slow rolling everything out.
yeah. So actually, when I went in, they're working on bringing alcohol into the so a lot of the stuff for that, and I think they're going to do more food options. So a lot of that equipment isn't in yet. But actually, when I went in to take my seat, I was one of the first ones in there, and I started taking photos of it. I was like, it seems really dark in here. Like, what's missing? And you know how there's like colored lights around the perimeter of the theater, and they weren't on. And so I was like, oh no, did they remove those part of the renovation? And I talked to the manager, and she's like, oh, I know I forgot something. So those are still there. So yeah, they're showing movies, but a lot of the stuff is kind of like, and also a lot of the knickknacks aren't on the wall, and
it's kind of one of those things where it's like we're not fully done yet, but we need to open and get revenue so that we can afford to finish
exactly,
it.
yeah.
Makes sense.
So, and I forgot to check the upstairs, so I don't know what the state of that was. But they're playing one
Probably
movie
where
both
they have that
screens.
stuff is
Totally.
upstairs.
Yeah. So, but my prediction of the size of the concession stand, like when I walked around outside and before they opened, it seemed like, oh, they got rid of the projection room. It's actually this. They didn't change any of that. It just looks bigger because there's stuff missing. So
That or sometimes you can use paint or reconfigure stuff and it makes it look bigger.
yeah. So
Or you're blind. One of the two.
and the manager also said like it wasn't like a catastrophic flooding, like that rumor. It was just the plumbing was bad, and in the midst of fixing it, they're like, well, we're gonna have to be shut down anyway. So why don't we tear out the carpet
Might
and
as
the
well.
seats?
There you go.
And yeah, so it wasn't like they flooded and the theater was going to be shut down if they didn't fix it. It was just a matter of like, hey, we have this opportunity, we'll do it.
And they should. I mean, you got to change to survive.
Yeah.
Because, moving theaters now are starting to realize that to get people to go to them, that they got to make it more comfortable and more like your home.
Right, it's interesting because they're putting in, like with Esquire, they're putting in less seats so that your experience is more enjoyable, which is pretty interesting. Usually it's like with airplanes, they're like, if we take out a couple inches, everybody can get in like a sardine.
Oh, no, airplanes are a joke now. But, good.
Yeah. And I miss I do miss the squeaky seats though.
Airplanes?
I had to do it.
Yeah, I held back.
I do miss that squeak of the seats though. Like,
Nope.
It's just like an auditory thing that makes it's kind of a weird blend of old and new at the same time in the theater.
That's why I really do enjoy going to the Bug. You still have that. I don't know, the nostalgic
essence.
feel. Yeah,
That aesthetic's still there, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
I
worry, you
really
still
do
got the
enjoy
Mayan's got its squeaky seats.
Yeah, the Mayan hasn't.
Does it?
The
Okay.
Mayan hasn't changed at all because it's a landmark, so they have to get approval to make a paint upgrade or something.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
you
tricky
mean
there.
Landmark as far as the company that
Oh,
owns
that's
it, or
historical.
Sorry, the
historical?
Yeah.
I said the Mayan, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
but you said
historical-
landmark, but it's a historical.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
okay.
The city never.
Because the landmark does own it, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I
don't-
was
yeah.
confused.
I don't think the Chez Artistes, maybe the Chez Artistes still has its squeaky seats. I can't
No,
remember.
they renovated that
yeah,
one too.
okay. All right.
So
The Shea shit tease, yeah.
I did look up Wyoming though.
Okay, cool. I need to know.
According to the Wyoming Secretary of State, the name Wyoming is a contraction of the Native American word Mechiwaiming, or at the Big Plains.
Oh, it makes sense. See? Real Nerds Podcast, movies and learning.
Yeah. La la la.
We're totally certified teachers.
But eventually there'll be naming rights, sold to corporations, and
Yep.
they'll get renamed. So
Rockstar Energy Drink presents Wyoming.
Rockstar NG's Wyoming.
Take your energy drink and go for a run on the big old plain.
I'm trying to remember Idiocracy's energy drink, but it's that.
Oh man.
Walmart's Arkansas.
Where every day is shopping.
So yeah, there's that, and then the 88 Drive-In is changing it up to Toy Story 4, Godzilla, and Aladdin.
Nice.
So
Where is that?
88th and Rosemary. So you take I-76 or I-25 up north and get off at 88th, and then just head down to 88th and Rosemary.
Cool.
And you'll see it.
It's a fun drive-in. Go there.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know it existed. The only reason I know it's around is because of you guys.
Cool. It's working.
I haven't. Yeah, and I haven't been there yet, but I'm like,
yeah, we've actually got a closer one. It's the Denver Mart Drive-In, and you can actually see the back of the screen poking up over I-25.
Okay.
But they show 2 movies, and it's like $14 or $17. 88 Drive-In's $8 for 3 movies. So.
That's cool.
$9 now.
Oh yeah, $9 now. Sorry.
Oh. Well, that dollar just I'm out of here.
Yeah. You just
that cuts into my cigar money, guys.
Well, that was my deciding factor. I'm just going to bootleg this on the internet.
Movie news happened this week in a segment we call Real News.
It's real news.
The original Jaws shark has been fully restored for the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures, which is a new museum that'll be opening up soon.
Yeah, by Greg Nicotero.
Yep.
Looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce the Shark.
Looking solid, yeah. I mean,
actually, when I was at, did you see, did you go to the Alamo? They have a new trailer for their Jaws movie party, and it's just, Quint talking about, I'll give you the head, the tail, that speech, but it's to the Jaws theme. I go, wow, that really works in this scene.
It's a pretty solid trailer. I like when they re-edit the film for like their own specific trailer. Yeah. Like you don't necessarily need the original theatrical trailer. Although I like the theatrical.
Oh no, the theatrical trailer is amazing, but
that's a good one. Yeah. We'll move into some news. Ryan, we're getting a Black Christmas remake again.
Nice.
Blumhouse just decided to drop this on us at the last minute.
Wait a minute. The call's coming from inside the house.
I think that's kind of like how the killer sounds. But I guess Cary Elwes has also joined up on the proceedings.
I'll see because Cary Elwes is in it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't see the remake from 2006.
It's not bad.
Or Black Xmas.
But, I mean, it's the premise is so ripe for someone to constantly remake it that they're going to always remake it because everybody can relate to it. They say Black Christmas, you think a slasher film at Christmas, people will go, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so that'll be a fun. I mean, it kind of also it keeps in line with them restoring the classic slasher films a little bit. But I mean, I don't think we'll need a sequel to Black Christmas because that film was supposed to be open ended to a degree.
Yeah, it's called New Year's Day or New Year's Evil. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Evil.
It's not that great.
That's what the killer says on the phone. It's pretty bad.
Like the fruits of the devil. Evil.
So, in additional Blumhouse news, we are getting Halloween 2 in 2020, and Jamie Lee Curtis and David Gordon Green are likely to return.
He died in that house. How is that possible?
Because it's a franchise, and shut the fuck up.
Can't argue that.
The most shocking news of the week that it cost $10 million to make it made $258 million worldwide. What? Even if they make half of that, they don't care.
In an alternate world, Jason Blum's like, "Nah, we're good. We're less on our laurels." But he is a businessman, and this can make money.
No, it's fine.
I also like it. Technically, there is a shot where you don't see him in that fire, so it is possible that he escapes.
Or when it blows up, he gets shot out.
Right.
Go to space.
Maybe he hid in the refrigerator.
Yes.
And exploded in the refrigerator.
That would be so
Halloween
fucking awesome. If he went into a refrigerator and it blew out and he kicked off the refrigerator door all pissed off.
Bunch of CGI.
I want to see that. You know what? Copyright, Real Nerds Podcast.
He turns around and stares at the nuclear explosion.
A bunch of CGI gophers are looking at it with him.
Oh, man. I want to see that. I want to see that.
Dude.
But yeah, no.
I'm going to watch Crystal Skull this week.
Oh, that movie.
It says that David Gordon Green wrote the script. It doesn't confirm that he's going to direct. So this must be the one that because they originally proposed a back-to-back film that they ended up combining into the one film that we got. So I'm curious. I'm down for it. I mean, I like the finality of that Halloween reboot, but obviously you can go anywhere with this franchise because they've managed to do so for the past 40 years. So, yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Stay tuned for more Halloween news from me and my obsessed ass. Mark Hamill says he's done with Star Wars after Rise of Skywalker and that he is going to be a Force ghost. In other news, water is wet.
He did say he hopes. So, there's plenty of paychecks that could
Yeah,
come
and I'm
his
saying,
way
you just
that
keep
like
backing up that dump truck. I'll show up.
right, I saw that and I thought it was pretty interesting because he's an interesting guy, just like all the things that he does and and how much that he has been involved and loved Star Wars over the years. Even he's getting tired of it, which is I don't know. That's kind of I'm a big Star Wars guy. I love Star Wars. That's kind of it's just so saturated that there's so much that even the Star Wars guy is like meh.
I like playing a killer doll now.
right.
Or a clown prince of crime. Yeah, he said that the fact that I'm involved in any capacity is only because of that peculiar aspect of the Star Wars mythology where if you're a Jedi, you get to come back and make a curtain call as a Force ghost. So, yeah.
Something tells me he might be trolling too.
Yeah, also. Well, yeah.
I mean, as far as the Force Ghost thing, because there's no way they would let him drop that like knowledge without prior clearance.
I don't know. I mean, they may have given it to him because everybody knows he's in it already, right?
Yeah.
And that's the only way he can be in it.
Again, this could be just assumptions on all of our parts. And yes, Mark Hamill could be trolling us. He is
notorious
but he's
for
a
it.
good
Right.
troll.
He
He's not
could
bad.
Yeah.
he could come back as like a clone or something. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, like Mark Hamill, the only good troll around.
Or even just flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we were gone last week because we had our 400th episode, which you can check out now on realnerdspodcast.com and on our feed. But we got a Dr. Sleep trailer.
You can also find it on freaking Spotify.
Yeah.
Did you know we're on Spotify now?
Nice.
We're also on iHeartRadio. Do you know we're on iHeartRadio?
Are we? I haven't checked yet. I signed up.
It said welcome, so I just assumed.
Oh, no, that was just like, hey, you registered, but they give you like a 12-day
Trial.
like review period, so I haven't checked if that's gone through yet.
Okay. So you can't find us on Spotify, though. I know we're there. My wife found us.
Cool.
And then she immediately deleted it.
Totally.
She flagged it for inappropriate content.
Exactly. That's why we're not on iHeartRadio.
But yeah, no, we got a trailer for
Fart Radio.
Fart
Well,
radio.
now you're not.
Fart radio.
I just got a rejection email.
Is that what CB radio is now? iFart radio? No, we got a trailer for Dr. Sleep, the new film from Mike Flanagan, who did Gerald's Game, which you saw Gerald's Game, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, you liked it?
It's good.
Yeah. Did you see the trailer for Dr. Sleep, Mr.
I
Ryan?
did.
What did you think?
It's all right.
Yeah, it looks fine. I think Ewan McGregor will do a fine job. I was actually pretty fascinated that, given Stephen King's opinions on Kubrick's Shining, that he would allow a coexistence
Because
between
the shinning is not.
the shinning. Boy, you read my thoughts. You got the shinning. I'm surprised that Stephen King would be comfortable with the melding of the two, but
Well,
Warner Brothers' is The Shining is a money machine still to this day because that film has a legacy to it.
it's highly regarded.
Yeah.
Not amongst me, but I mean, other people like it.
I like The Shining.
Meh.
I don't think it's a great horror film. I think it's a good thriller film. And yeah, I guess they only recreated, or they only used one shot from the original film in the trailer, so everything else has been recreated. So good on Flanagan because it looks very close
He's a
to
good
that
director.
look. Yeah. So check that out when it pops up.
Are they
This-
filming up in the same place?
It didn't say, but I mean, I'd have to assume if not, then they're just kind of reconstructing some interior sets. Because the Dr. Sleep is a sequel with Danny Torrance years later. I don't think it's all going to take place in the Overlook, but I haven't read the book Dr. Sleep, so maybe it has a bunch of stuff in the Overlook Hotel, and I'm not like privy to it.
But this just in. We are on iHeartRadio.
Yes.
But even if you type in all the way Real Nerds Podcast, we are not even in the top 10 of things that come up.
That's because we're just brand new.
Yeah,
Give
you
it time.
have to scroll down
We're
a
gonna
bit
climb.
to find us.
We're gonna climb the charts. Casey Kasem's gonna talk about us on his show. Oh wait, no, he can't talk about it anymore. He's dead.
I was following you for a minute, and then I was like, oh.
Yeah, Zach will do that. Classic Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, Casey K. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the voice of Shaggy is dead, guys. I'm sorry. So we talked about Dark Phoenix in episode 399, and already it's leaving a ton of theaters because nobody went to see it. Yeah, so a very sad end for the X-Men franchise is that it's just getting pulled as quick as Mallrats was back in 95. which I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a terrible movie,
No.
but it definitely has issues.
It's weak.
And
It's not
all,
terrible, though.
the moment it flopped, like all the stories came out going like, well, it was his fault and his fault and his fault.
That's a new thing now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did it with Men in Black International as well.
Is what, blaming other people?
Blaming troubled productions
Yeah,
and
yeah, like-
saying, well, I mean, I had this one vision, but, Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson had to bring in dialogue people because the dialogue sucked in this film.
Oh, right.
Studio insiders say.
Yeah.
They also got to make room for Avengers Endgame returning to theaters this weekend.
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
getting to that. Yeah, you can see Avengers Endgame with a new post-credit sequence, and according to Kevin Feige, other extra surprises and goodies, and
Yep.
another cast tribute or something, or like another
Stan
Marvel
Lee.
tribute. Yeah. So yeah, it's all to beat Avatar, guys.
I'm
We-
gonna go see it again.
We have to do this.
Right. I was going to say, because Avatar was re-released, right? And that's why they have
lots.
that thing. Because I've seen a lot of people saying, like, oh, they're only releasing it to beat... They're staying on point
I
with what they
calculated it. They
did,
got an extra
though.
$10 million from that re-release.
Right.
So.
I still don't understand. I think people are lying about how much money Avatar made. It still doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either, but it's one of those things where, I wonder how much money was put into the publicity of it to be like, this is the best movie ever, you have to go see it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what really drove that desire.
Yeah.
It was also kind of the first one out of the gate for the 3D revival.
Yeah.
So it was
like the first really good 3D movie.
Yeah.
And its worldwide push is a big factor in it. Like you can't.
And I
discount
should
the
see it
world-
again. I haven't seen it in 10 years. So.
Well, you need to help Endgame first.
Oh no, I'm
Yeah.
going to.
Yeah.
I'll be.
Yeah.
I
I wonder if they're going to release it in 3D as part of the re-release, because obviously that's like a $20, $21 ticket.
I don't know.
It's pretty great
I'm not
in
a
3D.
3D guy.
Oh, it was awesome though.
But yeah, no, you can go check that out. I mean, guys, at the end of the day, they own both Avatar and Avengers, so it's all just more money for Disney at this point. So
No, I can't. I was at work last week and I went up. So I work a day shift, and the guy on the other side of the week, we call him A side, B side. I said, "Hey man, you should totally work for me on Tuesday so I can go see Spider-Man." He said, "Okay." So I took out Tuesday. I'm going to see it in the morning with my wife, who wants to go see it. Weird. And then she's going
Has she not seen it?
No, it's Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah.
So I'm going to go see it Spider-Man at 12:30, and then we're going to hang out with my kid, I guess, and then she's gonna fuck off, go home, and I'm gonna go see it in IMAX. So I will see it twice in one day.
more news. San Diego Comic-Con is coming, and apparently Top Gun Maverick is coming to that con.
Sweet.
So we will get some Top Gun Maverick
I
news.
know it's gonna be a
hopefully
long
very
year.
soon.
No Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? to
Hopefully
pass
he
the
fights
time?
Justin Bieber.
I swear to God, I want to see that. Like, what possessed that child to make that tweet? Like,
I don't know.
Attention.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
but
working.
It spawned my favorite thing, which was Brent Spiner challenging Agatha, or not? What was her name? Angela Lansbury to a fight, and Dick Van Dyke stepping up to defend her, and then Brent Spiner going, "I withdraw."
That's pretty cool.
The Twitter exchange is much funnier than the way I described it. Just like look it up: Brent Spiner v. Dick Van Dyke, Dawn of Silly. Bill and Ted 3 casting. They got Anthony Carrigan from Barry. He's one of the standouts from that show.
In Gotham.
Yeah. Oh, he is in Gotham.
He plays Zaz.
Which one was he on, Barry?
He is.
See the bald guy that has
Yeah,
the funny
the-
eye?
yeah, the
He's
bald guy, yeah.
hilarious. I
Yeah.
love that show. And
Yeah.
he was awesome.
Which leads me to believe that he might play the Son of Death, but that's also a tricky fan theory that I'm not gonna, try to push.
Whoa, like you're like the Son of Death, dude.
But it says he's the villain.
I
and-
could be fucking Ted. Okay.
Can you be Keanu Reeves though?
Yeah.
What if he's the son
Can
of
you be Keanu
Rufus
Reeves?
and he's the villain?
Yeah. When I hug females, so next year at Denver Pop Culture Con, when we have guests in our booth and we take their picture, I'm still gonna have my hands sticking out, so I'm not hugging them. I'm gonna call that Keanu style.
And then in the last piece of news, Clint Eastwood won't fucking die, and instead is going to make another movie called The Ballad of Richard Jewell, which is
I thought
about.
you like Clint Eastwood.
I
You-
do.
We've already talked about this.
I do. I love his flicks for the most part. I loved researching him, but I need him to stop because I don't want to write another article.
Oh, yeah.
It's a selfish thing, Ryan.
I always want Tom Cruise to have more movies.
No, actually, this would be his 38th film, directorial film, and he it's the story of the security guard who was suspected of the Atlanta bombing during the Olympics. And he's got John Hamm and Olivia Wilde joining the cast. But he's also got Paul Walter Hauser from I, Tonya and Black Klansman joining the cast.
In Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And we
Oh, he's
talked
in
about
Cobra
this
Kai?
2 weeks ago, too.
Oh, shit.
He,
No, we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, we did.
What?
Didn't we talk about this?
No.
What?
Paul Walter Hauser?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
No, we talked about Ballad of Richard Jewell. Like
yeah, but we didn't
3
talk
weeks
about
ago.
Paul Walter Hauser from I, Tonya joining this cast, which I think
No, we didn't.
that's the reason I wanted to bring it up. Is like he is the standout in those two films, one of the standouts in Black Klansman, but definitely the standout in I, Tonya. And I want to see him flourish. He is an
The biggest
interesting
standout
actor.
for me in Black Klansman is it's Loosey Goosey with the facts. Heyo.
Still a wonderful film, one of the best films of last year.
In Cobra Kai, like in the second season, he just kind of shows up as like he's a Home Depot employee, and then he just joins the Cobra Kai dojo, and he's like a 40-year-old man trying to do karate, and yeah, he's just completely silly. It's great.
Anyway, that's news.
Blu-rays and 4K come out every week. We're going to tell you about a few of them.
DVD releases and Blu-rays. Last week you could pick up Us on Blu-ray 4K digital.
I got the
Please go
Steelbook.
see George Peele's Us.
Steelbook's awesome.
Do you think it's still around? I
I got it yesterday, so yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna pick it up. I haven't had time this week.
What is Steelbook? I've heard you guys talk about that,
So-
and I don't like
Probably
buy
one on the shelf you
anything
can show 'em.
physical copies of anything
yeah,
anymore.
There should be one somewhere.
So yeah, Steelbook is
Uh-huh.
a metal case that usually has exclusive art to them,
Okay.
and they're usually pretty nice. So stuff like Us.
That's a DVD one though of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
But it's similar.
Yeah,
the Us one is just a pair of scissors, and it's all black, and the scissors are gold, and so it's embossed. It looks really nice.
yeah. That's Batman
Okay.
Ninja. That's an example of what happens when the Steelbook is destroyed. But no, this week though, you can pick up Tim Burton's Dumbo in Blu-ray 4K.
The
and
Steelbook for that's really nice, though. It's it's like painted wood.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Too bad the movie is complete garbage.
Yeah. But you can also get Cinderella, the Kenneth Branagh one in 4K as well.
Weird.
Uh,
Great movie though.
And I guess Cinderella is getting the Walt Signature Collection, but
Yep.
not on 4K, just only on Blu-ray.
Yep.
Which is kind of interesting to me. Shout Factory and Scream Factory got lots of stuff coming out.
I do have one coming from them this week.
Is it the Green Inferno?
Nope.
Okay, then it's not the Green Inferno. Whatever. You can pick up the Green Inferno from 2013, which I think is a fun movie.
Yeah.
And you can also get Night of the Creeps.
There you go.
That's the one you're getting. You can get that on Blu-ray. And
Thrill me.
I think it's still available. Possibly, I guess not. The action figure exclusive from Scream Factory.
Last time I checked, it was.
So if you want a Tom Atkins doll,
But they didn't recommission the front cover because the original poster is so awesome. It's just a zombie with roses, and it says, "The good news is your dates are here. The bad news is they're all dead."
and you can.
That sounds like good
Okay.
news, bad news.
Yes. Have you ever seen Night of the Creeps?
No.
Oh, it's genius.
It's
Is it?
Fred Decker before Monster.
Is that the one with the
Squad, right?
slugs?
Yeah. It's total B movie, but it's fun.
It
Right,
yeah.
manages to meld a lot of different subgenres of horror together into one cohesive. Like it's really good. I love it. Like
Yeah.
it's a 50 sci-fi movie, a slasher movie, and a zombie movie all at once.
Oh yeah, I think the person that Tom Atkins is haunted by the zombie, and it's really effective. The dead guy.
Oh yeah. And Blue Underground is putting out the New York Ripper. The cover is.
Capitalizing on that Jack the Ripper craze.
I'm sure, yeah. That's still around, the Jack of the Ripper craze. It's just a gal in lingerie, and a knife is coming towards her. So
Yep.
find out if she escapes that knife in the New York Ripper. She
You
probably
had
doesn't.
me at lingerie. I'm in.
That's how I get some of the Scream Factory stuff. I still haven't watched it. I got to catch up on my Scream Factory crypt, but it's called Daughters of Satan, and it's literally these women in torn clothes on the front with knives. It's probably complete garbage.
Sounds
But
like it, yeah.
Tom Selleck is in it as well, and I said, you know what? Daughters of Satan and women in scantily clad with knives. I'll watch it.
And Criterion is putting out War and Peace from 1966 and Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
My wife loves that
2001.
movie.
I haven't watched it.
Of course she does. It's like a sad, depressing rock thing about being trans. My wife really likes movies where people struggle. She doesn't like to be. her entertainment is being sad and depressed.
I feel that.
And
I love watching movies like that. You walk away and you're just like, man.
We'll talk about what we've been watching, but my wife, I watched this movie last week, and my wife told me it's one of her favorite movies, and it blew my fucking mind because my wife is usually the one who says, let's sit down and watch The Color Purple today. Like, really?
So question is, do you get this Criterion edition, bring it home, put it on the shelf that she questions you for having?
I don't know. That's a good
Look,
question.
honey, I got something for you to put on the shelf.
I don't know if she'd appreciate it. Do they have just a standard $5 Blu-ray?
I'm
Because
sure
the Criterion's $30.
She doesn't want. She doesn't want to watch the commentary and the making of.
No, she could give. Man,
Then yes, there is a $5 version.
I'm trying
out
to
there somewhere.
think of a movie that I saw her watching special features on, and I don't think it exists.
No, so it's invisible
Maybe. I don't know. Give me a minute. Let me think about it. Maybe 7.
for sure. Well, while you're waiting, I will tell you that Warner Archive is putting out Gaslight from
that's a great
1944.
film.
Yes, it is. You could check that out on Warner Archive. They're killing it, by the way. They just announced The Thin Man, and
I
I'm
know.
super excited.
My cousin Lisa, her husband is optometrist, surgeon guy in South Dakota, and he put together like a fundraiser kind of thing, and he showed Gaslight. Was a movie he was showing for
Nice.
a fundraiser, yeah. Dr. Chris.
Oh yeah, gotta fucking love that. And Shout Select is putting out a movie called Fatso from 1980, and it's directed by Anne Bancroft. This is an underrated flick. I would check it out. It's one of the films that Brooks Films was producing under that label that did The Fly, The Elephant Man, and all that stuff. So it's actually probably the best Dom DeLuise performance in terms of just not just being silly, but like he's grounded.
Better
in this
than
film.
Mafia? I'll believe it.
Shut up. But yeah, and then looks like it's about it. Actually, you know what? Scream Factory is putting out Monster on the Campus, which it's a werewolf-looking thing, it seems like.
I do love that Scream Factory is putting out all these horrible monster films from the 50s.
There's like drive-in
Oh,
fair.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get them because they're still expensive, but because those ones, for some reason, on their website, they never drop in price, and they're $27 each. That's a lot of money for probably a shit movie.
Here's what the
They
poster...
probably don't produce a lot of them.
They
so,
don't.
yeah.
As I say, it's such a niche market.
Oh
that
yeah, they don't
it's-
at all,
yeah.
and that's why I understand. Obviously, you know, when you get stuff, Army of Darkness is $12 from
Right.
them. It's because they sell thousands of them.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Here's what the text on the cover says. So again, it's a werewolf type of monster, and then 2 college kids running away, and one of them has a college sweater on because of course it was the fucking 50s. Co-ed beauty captive of man monster, campus terror, student victims of the terror beast.
Nice. Well, because I mean, I have some of their. They have internet exclusive ones, like the Velvet Vampire.
Yeah, that's the one you told me was.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But the reason I love it because I totally got it for the cover alone. It's this woman vampire and she's holding up a severed head. Never happens in the movie, but like it's still pretty awesome.
I like how you're like, the Velvet Vampire. It's weird, but you don't say.
Yeah, the name alone didn't. I know there's like she can come out in the daytime and there's a cemetery where there's people. I don't know. It's weird.
Comes out and she just sparkles. The sun doesn't really
Yes.
hurt. It's
If
magnificent.
you need to be
film.
sold on Monster on Campus, the blood of a primitive fish exposed to gamma rays causes a benign research
Like Hulk.
professor to regress into an ape-like, bloodthirsty prehistoric humanoid.
Nice.
That's
Oh,
Hulk,
hominid.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
not even humanoid. Hominid. Yes, I was wrong with my words. But yeah, so if you want to watch the Monster on the Campus,
Well, maybe one day.
maybe one day. When I do a series of articles on 50s
Sci-fi
private
films.
movies, oh my god, it would never end.
Oh no, it'd be the longest thing ever.
Because every time I'd think I'd finished, they'd find 5 new ones in some guy's closet. Anyway, that's Blu-rays.
We also watch movies throughout the week in a segment I call What We've Been Watching.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Chad, I'm going to start with you. Anything you want to tell us you've been watching this week?
I don't. Well, sorry, this is dead air right there. I
No, I'm
apologize.
putting you
I
on the spot.
Panicked. Well, I don't really watch movies or anything like that lately. I've been so busy going out and interacting with people,
Working.
and so I have been watching a lot of I really do like going to the Bug. They do the Emerging Filmmakers Project that actually the next one, 48-hour film project, is taking over, and it's going to be nothing but 48-hour films. But that's a lot of fun because it's a lot of local stuff, which is, for me, it's the big blockbusters. Endgame is great. I'm a huge comic book guy, and I love that stuff. But those people came from somewhere, and I love going out and watching local films and supporting each other, because being an audience member is actually something that is overlooked a lot of times. Is people are like, oh, I'm going to go to my thing because my movie is showing, and they don't go to anybody else's. So I'm trying to get out now that I have the time and the availability to go out and support people by being an audience member. So I've been seeing a lot of things that I can't recall the names of offhand, but I've been seeing a lot of live performances and a lot of like stuff at the Bug, Emerging Filmmakers Project, stuff like that.
Very cool.
Cool.
So if we go around town like Brad, there's a chance we can run into you in the Denver film community.
100%.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Brad, what'd you watch this week?
I did a lot of revisited watches, but I can't remember them all.
Okay.
So I did really fast, but I'll start with some stuff that I saw outside the house, which the Alamo showed a film from 1987 slasher movie called Killing Spree.
How is this amazing?
I expected it. So when I watched Blood Lake a couple months ago, that was a disappointing. This is just someone's VHS shitty movie they shot over the weekend with their friends who just happened to be there and didn't want to be in it, but
it's okay to shoot a movie in a weekend. I'm just saying.
Brad, stop shooting yourself in the foot.
Valid.
But he needs talented people making a film.
That's not what put me off. It was the fact that it felt like the people in the film didn't want to be a part of it and were just there because they were his friends.
That's awesome.
But this movie was amazing because it felt like I was watching a horror slasher version of The Room.
Okay.
Ooh.
So there's this husband who, for some reason, thinks, kind of out of nowhere, suspects his wife is cheating on him. And then throughout the movie, these random guys come to the house. He works as a airplane mechanic, and so I think one of the pilots is his best friend. He comes over. The gardener comes over. I think some guy selling, like a door-to-door salesman, comes over. And each time they come over, she writes the encounter down in her diary, and it becomes like an erotic novel. And so the husband finds the diary, and each time he reads it, he gets more and more insane, and he starts killing these people as they re-show up to the house. And halfway through, you're like, oh, clearly she's writing it for somebody. It's all fake. She's just using them as inspiration. But it's B-movie level, like just terrible gore effects. And when he reads the diary, it's funny because he even says, what's the line? Like, why would I even bother reading this? Like, it's a little self-aware to the point where it feels like, this is 87, so it's years before The Room, but everyone is so acting just like on a different level that you think they might know that it's silly.
It's like calling it out, like, oh, why am I even reading this? Because I need to move the plot along, and this is the only way I can do that. Hey, thanks for calling it out.
Or this is garbage, but we're getting paid to do this, so I'm gonna try it. So, like, the first kill is the pilot best friend, and even though he brings over his girlfriend, the husband is still like, you slept with you're cheating on my wife, and he kills the girlfriend upstairs, and then there's this balcony, and he's maniacally, cartoonishly laughing, and then he holds up the terrible fake head and then throws it at the best friend, and that kills his best friend. I guess it snapped his neck. And then later,
I guess dying by getting head. There's worse ways to die.
I think they made that joke actually.
Oh shit! Sorry, guys.
Yeah, there's like a nosy neighbor who gets chopped up with a lawnmower. And then at the end, all those people he killed and buried in the backyard, they come back to life as zombies.
Of course they do. Why wouldn't they?
So, but the level of comedy, like the audience was just laughing, not even just because the effects were bad, but just it felt like there was that little bit of self-awareness that they knew what they were making was silly. So, like that helped it be actually kind of great. And if it wasn't $40, I would buy it.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
So,
Is it like on like a boutique like Arrow or?
I think it's on Arrow, yeah, because it has like custom cover art and stuff.
Arrow's got some interesting stuff.
Yeah,
They figure if they make one sale, they make their budget back.
yeah. We made one copy of it, and if you can pay $40, you can have it. So yeah, like
That's
it was,
Vinegar Syndrome's.
Hey, I got Jack Frost from Vinegar Syndrome.
And you paid for that for their production of that disc.
I think that was only like $12.99.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Killer Snowman. Can't miss it.
and it too is like also feels like it was shot on a VHS camcorder. And it takes place, I think, in Florida, so it's kind of a swampy aesthetic.
That's all they have access to over there is VHS.
Bunch of old
so
people.
many things to say, but
Florida. That's a fun topic.
I think I already
I lived there
mentioned
for
it
9
earlier
years.
when I was talking about bath salts and eating someone's face.
There's a thing on Google where you type in your name and your birth month and year and Florida and see what comes up.
I lived there for 9 years, so
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, you're a Miami Dolphins fan. Says a lot about you.
Yeah.
Well, I got to go. See you guys.
What was it? I watched. I wasn't going to talk about it because I also recently watched, but Rumble in the Bronx, the kid in the wheelchair, he's got like a Dan Marino poster, and this is the Bronx. Like, why would he have a New York team up there? Are we going to talk about The Dead Don't Die?
Yeah, I think we all saw it.
I saw it.
It won't be like a weekly movie
No.
because we need to pick something for next week.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll say that for the very last thing. What? You're making faces over there.
Yeah.
We're just amusing each other.
Yeah.
I saw Men in Black International, which I don't think will be one of our main movies.
No. Probably
No?
not. I think Annabelle 3 comes out next week. That one seems fun. Annabelle Comes Home.
Oh.
Well, you don't have to be on the show, Brad.
Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are in it. Come on.
Can we bump Child's Play to next week?
I guess, yeah.
Because actually our next week guest
Child's
would
Play
actually
and
not-
Annabelle Come Home. Double
Guess we can do
feature,
both.
guys.
Yeah. It's fine, whatever.
A lot of dolls this these 2 weeks.
James Wan's Nightmare Box was unleashed one day in Hollywood.
Toy Stories
That's
or
how it
dolls.
happened. Yeah.
Are they going to make a remake of Puppet Master?
I think
They did. It's called Puppet Master of the Littlest Reich.
yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Was it terrible?
I
Probably.
haven't seen it yet. Did you?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Thomas Lennon's in it, so I want to watch it.
I don't think it came to theaters.
No. It's Charlie Band. No.
Okay, so MIB International. Like,
It's like every Men in Black film.
no, that's wrong. The first one's fantastic.
This one's good, yeah.
But this one, like, yet again, has like nothing to say. Like, the great thing about the first one is it, like, the first one is a product of like the era of the X-Files and the Greys, the Outer Limits, like that flying saucer Greys.
And just fun Will Smith wholesome comedy.
Yeah, and just the secret government organization was still kind of a new thing,
Right.
that you could make fun of, and this is almost like it's cool that they kind of get past like, okay, we already know all that stuff, but also it's just kind of it's just there, like it's more of the same. There's some freaky villain trying to destroy the world, and they have to unravel the mystery, and the mystery is not even that interesting. They added that, okay, there's a mole inside MIB that's doing something, but
Like in 2, when they had moles all over that friggin' place.
what?
Yeah, they had Johnny Knoxville's characters, like, it was already in there in MIB. Oh, wait, no, he's not part of MIB in 2.
Yeah, I thought he was like just some alien.
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's someone inside MIB undermining everything. But, like, Tessa Thompson's character is a wide-eyed, like, her parents got neuralized, and she didn't she was in the kind of in the way of it, but she didn't get neuralized, and she saw the alien, so she spent like the next 20 years of her life trying to track down MIB. And then Chris Hemsworth is an agent, but he's a screw up who was once, I can't tell if he was like really good at it, and because he was like, they teased this fight at the beginning with an alien, and then it just kind of like dissolves away, and they flash forward like years later, and that's kind of the mystery of like what happened after they destroyed that alien with Liam Neeson as his partner. But Liam Neeson's the head of the British chapter, and then Hemsworth is kind of like screwing up or like so cavalier about the job that he's putting other agents in danger, and so he gets put on this, specific assignment, and they just kind of go from place to place, and they're just wondering like, what does this have to do with anything? It's just like excuses for special effects. And then like Kumail Nanjiani's alien character, which you watch the trailer and you think, oh, he's going to be the pug from number 2 for the whole movie, and he really is only in for a small chunk of it, making the jokes, and it's really kind of barely the only funny part of it, which you think Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth would be. And then the end is so, like, I don't want to spoil it, but you're just like, what is even going on in this finale? Like, because it involves the reveal of the person inside, and
it's all muddled, basically.
Yeah, like, I always thought Men in Black 2 was the worst one, but this is just like, it's not bad, but it's just like, why does this, it gives no reason why it exists other than, like, we just had to make another one.
They had no
to keep the rights.
They had no way to make it unique. They just needed to keep that.
Yeah, there's nothing
going.
special about it, I guess. Like, there's nothing I could say, like, oh, go see this because of that. Whereas the first one's like, oh, it is legit funny. And the third one, which is the other thing I watched this week, has, like, a good emotional core, like, towards the end of the movie. Ryan's fading away. He just can't stand on this.
Yeah, Men in Black.
I find it hard to talk about when you're just like glazing over. Like, should I just stop and move on?
No,
I'll talk to something more interesting that I watched.
I'm not the audience, Brad. I'm just the person sitting here.
I know, but like I'm trying to talk. Oh, that's better. Thank you. You look so much more interested now.
It's just last time I kept on saying bad things about Men in Black. You got really mad, so now I just sit here.
That's polite.
I'm trying to give International a fair shake, and you're just like,
I don't know. I mean, I'm with you. I like
I'll
the
probably
first
go see
one a
it.
lot.
did you watch it?
I haven't seen any of the other ones. I think I may have seen 2 or 3. When what was the older guy?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, where he just didn't want anything to do with the film. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember seeing that one, but the first one was really good because it was new. It was a fun premise, and
they're treating it pretty seriously. Like, even Will Smith, like, he's goofy in it, but he's taking it as seriously as he can.
right, exactly.
The second one is an excuse for Will Smith to riff,
right?
and then the third one tries to go back on track, but it has its issues.
And it's weird because the whole premise behind the Men in Black, after that first movie, that premise is done. I mean, the Men in Black are essentially, like you said, a secret government agency that could be aliens and know all about aliens.
It should be a TV show.
Where,
if you
yeah,
wanna keep it going. Yeah,
if you want to keep it episodic, maybe you could do something like that. But
They had a cartoon of it.
did
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
yeah.
MC Hammer had a cartoon.
Everybody's had a cartoon.
I don't know why that triggered
Ryan,
that.
you
But
have a cartoon. So
I wish.
Yeah. I also think like the franchise leans on things that like leans too much on things that were cool about the first movie that we've kind of got over. Like,
right.
like, oh, they wear black suits and they wear the sunglasses and they're cool, but it's like,
They wear Ray-Bans.
yeah, like we're over that. And then the aesthetic of like they make a big deal about the aesthetic of the headquarters, and it's just like that's kind of Apple now. It's not that revolutionary anymore.
Right, yeah. Oh, you're allowed to go over there and sit in a really cool chair that'll massage your whole entire... Yeah, we have that now. It's not future anymore. It's not hidden alien technology. Apple is releasing all the hidden alien technology now.
this is going to replace CD soon. I'm gonna have to buy the White Album all over again.
Some of the things I do like that they should be expanding more on is like how creative the first one is. Like,
So you're saying it leans a little too much into that first film when it needs to.
and actually they
branch
even
out.
go back to that the screen of like, oh, these celebrities are aliens joke like for the fourth time. It's like, we get that.
Yeah.
Like you've done it 4 times. Like you're not going to surprise us. Like, oh, J.J. Abrams is an alien now. Like that's the Spielberg joke, that was on the first one.
That's why I'll never be famous, is I'm not an alien.
Yep,
Yeah.
you don't have your cameo in Men in Black.
There's a cop here, so I just want to make sure I'm not an alien.
Agent R.
Yes.
Window closed. And the last thing, for the first time since the theaters, I rewatched Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah?
Ryan's suddenly super interested.
I like he knows what to do. Bring it down and then whoa.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yep.
I remember you loving 2 because obviously it's the Gwen Stacy story, but like they clearly feel like excuses from, at that time Twilight and the Hunger Games were huge, so there was a heavy lean on the the romantic aspect of Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, and then it just kind of feels like there's a crazy scientist with a mad plot in the background they has to stop. So like I would give that visually, like Spider-Man's really dynamic in that movie, but then you get to sequences like the New York crane operators.
In the first one,
there just happens to be all these cranes along the same street that lead up to Oscorp, and even though Spider-Man just became Spider-Man, they're aware enough that hey, we should help this guy and turn all the cranes, and they're working at like midnight, on the job. But it's,
it was one of my biggest things that bother me about Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi one, is when the Goblin is attacking Spider-Man while he's holding up the ferry or the cable car, and he gets hit and he says, "You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us." Like, oh my God.
You mess with all of New York.
Yeah, that's very much a
like
post 9/11 pandering.
We get it. 9/11 brought New York together.
Yeah,
you didn't need to say it, but whatever.
The movie's important. It brought us together.
No, I mean I love the first.
Oh yeah, I
Spider-Man
know
film,
you
but-
do.
Yeah,
It's
and then
a line.
and then Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like I get that. So Jamie Foxx is pure energy incarnate, and that looks
he
cool.
is.
But
And Spider-Man didn't come to his birthday.
yeah, like he's butthurt because Spider-Man was like, "You need to help me. Like you're my best bud," and then Spider-Man's like, "I don't recognize you because you're energy now," and and he takes offense to it. And then I get you can't. It's a PG-13 movie. You can't be realistic and make him fully Dr. Manhattan nude. But
I always had a problem with his suit with the lightning bolts on.
yeah,
it.
so he's like, okay, I get that he can fashion a suit for himself out of the energy, but why does he dress it up with lightning bolts?
Yeah, I know. There's moments in that film I absolutely love, and I'll still defend it to this day. I think that part in New York, in Times Square, where they slow it down, and he's using his spider sense, is really cool. Mm-hmm. I think visually it looks amazing. It looks great in 4K. But there's some parts in it. The world building is not fun.
And then they bring back the trope of like, so in Times Square, they've already got all the barricades off, so there's a crowd of people just staying there, and there's this hugely dangerous person, and everyone's just like, "Oh, cool, I'm going to stay and watch." And then like the kid slips under the. Oh no, that's the finale.
That's the finale.
Never mind.
But he's being Spider-Man, fighting the Rhino.
Yeah.
Are these the Garfield ones?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I saw.
Oh,
any
yeah,
of
Andrew
those.
The
Garfield,
Garfield Giamatti ones? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a criminal!
And like, yeah, Giamatti's a great actor, but his interpretation of Alexei Ryzhenkov or whatever, I always thought the robotic rhino suit was cool, but then his CGI floating head is in the middle, and it always has to like open the glass so he can talk. And it's just like, why are you making it so complicated?
I like the interactions between Garfield and Dahan in that flick.
Oh yeah,
I think
there's moments in that film that are really great.
Yeah, I think the Green Goblin stuff is really good.
Yeah, that's all right.
His dialogue is pretty bad though. Yeah. Like they have a lot of just like cliche.
He's no Willem Dafoe.
Like they're lines that are they're meant to be like, haha, I one upped you, but they're not related to the scene. They're just like stuff you've heard everywhere.
I really like it, but there's moments. Dahan's interpretation of the Goblin, where he's like, and he's like licking himself. What?
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the Green Goblin.
Yeah. No.
But when he does show up and like force Peter into that tower thing, and then Gwen's there, like that whole sequence is still. And then when she dies, like that's still emotionally like
it's great.
strong.
What? Yeah. Gwen Stacy?
Yep.
No. Whoa!
Sorry to spoil 50, 60 years of comic book history.
46?
And then I think the score's out of
She
place.
died pretty early on.
Like it's way too triumphant,
Mm.
like all the time. It's almost like a military. I don't know. I'm not a music guy, so I don't know. But there's like so much horns in it, and the movie feels smaller than that. It's not like, the U.S. front lines like storming Omaha Beach.
Oh my God! If Spider-Man was at Normandy,
Yeah.
would have won that war quicker.
I would have had Namor, but
Oh, that's true.
Namor.
So
Yep.
yeah. Other than the Dead Don't Die, should I start with that?
yeah,
Lead into you guys.
sure.
So yeah, that's the movie I saw at the Esquire, and I didn't expect it to be
It's
great.
Really self-aware though, and it's really bizarre.
Yeah, like it literally knows it's making a movie. It even references the director.
Yep.
It's a Jim Jarmusch movie.
I
yes.
mean,
Is that something normal? Because I saw the Limits of Control, and I was just like, this is boring and weird.
he can put self-aware stuff in throughout.
the
his
thing
work.
I don't like when movies are saying, "Look how smart we are." Yeah, we know it's a movie. Do you know it's a movie? But Adam Driver's delivery is really funny, where it's Bill Murray. He says, "You keep saying this is going to be bad. Why do you keep saying that?" Well, I read the script, and I know how it's going to end.
You read the whole script?
That's an actual line in
Yeah,
the
oh,
movie?
yeah.
I
You got
read the
extra
script.
pages?
They start off from the get-go, letting you know that at least one of them is already aware that this is all a movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do like Tilda Swinton, though, where he's just like, that wasn't in the script.
Well, but that part's so stupid, though. It drives me crazy.
I know, but you know what? So, like, Jim Jarmusch does whatever he's going to do, and I thought this was a fun film about how Jim Jarmusch is sad about the world. Because that's basically what this movie is. Like, he lets humanity die at the end, and that's fun, but...
I mean, the plot is that there's some solar eclipse or something happening. It's bringing the dead back to life.
Because fracking.
No, the Earth's off its axis.
Yeah, because of fracking or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I take issue with that.
it's very bizarre. I mean, I do love after the diner's attacked and there's dead people in it, and Bill Murray goes in, he comes out, and Danny Glover says, "What do you think? It's like a wild animal or something?"
They keep repeating
and
that
they
line.
say the same line. Every person who comes in and out says the same line over and over again. That's pretty funny.
And then the newscast by Rosie Perez says the exact same thing.
Oh my God, Rosie Perez!
Yeah, she
I
puts
have to see this.
She puts a newscaster in it. Like, stars are all over this damn thing. It's awesome. But like again, like I don't think it's perfect, but I enjoyed myself.
No, I was entertained, but also too, it's really weirdly paced.
Mm-hmm.
It was only an hour and 40 minutes, but it seemed really long.
Oh yeah. And then I just left with it being like, okay, that's the thing that I did, and
Yeah.
I've moved on.
Yeah.
I loved the visuals, his zombie visuals. Like he clearly watched a ton of Romero to some of the shots of the zombies getting up and rising. Like I like how they're slow moving.
That's not really Romero, though. I mean, Romero.
Some of the wide shots of them coming out and walking like slow.
Romero would
approaching.
never shoot them coming out of a grave.
Not
because,
not coming out of the grave, but just walking the cemetery.
yeah.
Yeah, like it's like when they open
Like in
field in
silhouette?
front of the house. What?
Like in silhouette, or
No, they're just like it's just low lit. It's the night, but it had a vibe about it to it. The music is really good in it too, so it kind of helped with me. But I don't know. I enjoyed it for the most part. Like Jim Jarmusch is going to do what he's going to do.
No, I mean
He's
it's
not-
it's enjoyable
Yeah.
film, but there's some of the rules I didn't understand. And how they come back to life because they have that one character who dies in the jail cell and they just leave her in there, and Bill Murray's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna stay the night here."
Oh, yeah.
And then they show her twitching, and then she doesn't come back alive until a day later. It's like it's really that's what I mean. Like the pace is weird and the editing choices are weird.
I think it's hard with films that like call themselves out as being a film and I read the script.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to follow any rules because then it becomes like, oh well, we know it's a movie and we know it's a script and this makes this funnier or makes this work, so we don't have to actually have this suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a crutch that can be difficult.
It also makes me like less invested in it because I'm like,
Right.
well,
Yeah.
it seems like they don't care about the movie, so why should I?
Right.
I think that when you get it's funny because like there's so many people in this flick. Like RZA's in the film. I actually like the truck says "Woo PS."
Yeah, that's funny.
I thought that was fun. Like some of those self-aware jokes are like on this, like they work really well. Not all of them do, but I think when you get that many stars in there, there's a level of like maybe he just let them have some fun making a zombie movie, which is fine. You know, like if you can assemble that many cast members to do that. My issue with the film is that I think that even though it's sad and angry about things, I don't know if it knows how to necessarily direct the anger at times. It's clearly a movie about an environmental message, but it also, I think, muddles it with a lot of other angry issues that it doesn't expand upon. Like, Steve Buscemi's character is a great example where like they barely show him, but like Tom Waits at the end says he get what he deserves, and I'm like, well, I didn't see him get to do much. I know what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a MAGA asshole, but he doesn't like it doesn't expand on it. Like there's not enough. They don't do enough with some of the characters, and the kids at the CDC or at the detention center, they are completely dropped from the movie, and I want to see their story. I kind of don't care about some of the other stories. Like I didn't need a Selena Gomez hipster.
Well, she's
joke.
also dropped too because they're in the hotel room and then they go back and they're all dead.
I love that shot of Adam Driver walking out with the head. You can actually see Selena Gomez, like her headless head blinking in the first shot of it. It's fun.
Yeah.
There's things to like about it. It's not perfect, but
and then the whole "Dead Don't Die" is a song by
Sturgis Simpson.
And it opens the movie with the credits, and then it plays in their car, and then
it keeps
on
up.
showing up on the radio over and over again. They reference to like, this is a song by Sturgill Simpson, and I was like, does it have some reference to what's going on? Like, really? I don't know. Like, it just seems kind of random. So, but anyway, yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, well, we have all these stars that we had to pay, so we bought this one song. Let's use that a couple of times because that's the only song we can afford.
But I thought I was trying to think like, well, this feels closest to Shaun of the Dead. So, like, what about the songs from Shaun of the Dead is this like kind of homaging to, and I couldn't put it together. Like I don't feel like Shaun of the Dead has a specific one that they recycled or anything. So anyway, it's fun in the moment, but after that I'm like, we moved on.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You guys seem to like a lot of horror films, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you're not like familiar with Jarmusch and you saw this film and you're curious about it, go watch Stranger Than Paradise or Coffee and Cigarettes or Broken Flowers. Those are some really good Jarmusch flicks. Only Lovers Left Alive is pretty interesting too, but I mean, I haven't watched all of his flicks, so I'm not like versed in him. But he's a weird guy.
Zach, what'd you watch?
Not a whole lot. I rewatched Suspicion the day before we recorded the first episode of The Shamley Silhouette, which will be up on the Real Nerds podcast.
Wow, what a plug!
Yes, I know. I'm a lovely, selfless, shameful promoting man. But Suspicion, which like to kind of tease our conversation, Suspicion's a lot of like fun. Like it's a good movie, and it's the one Cary Grant Hitchcock team up that I think gets under discussed. But it's, you know, for what they're able to do with the dark element of Grant, it's amazing. Like obviously the ending's a cop out by the studio system, but you know, like still you get a lot of darkness in Grant that I don't think you see normally.
Running at the track.
Yeah. and yeah, it's fun watching Nigel Bruce run around as Beaky, and you know, it's a good flick. I'm halfway through Ken Burns' Jazz, which is a fun little mini-series that he did in 2000 about the history of jazz from the beginning of time to now. And it's fun kind of hearing stories that I didn't know about Louis Armstrong and Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker, and actually Duke Ellington's a big prominent part of the discussion, obviously, but there's stuff about Duke Ellington I had no idea about, and actually it focuses a lot on some of the female artists that contributed as far back as the beginning of jazz, and Billie Holiday's story is fascinating, and Ella Fitzgerald too. Like, you know, like there's a lot of stuff to kind of go through. But you know, I'm still only halfway through, so I've still got a lot to go. There are 2 parts on swing though, just swing music alone, and also an additional one on how it kind of helped with the war effort, and it like shows these band leaders that went off to war, like basically like contributed their services to entertaining the soldiers and joining the USO, and one of them, Dave Brubeck, actually like he got started as a band leader literally in the thrust of war, and his whole band was part of a platoon that got lost during the Battle of the Bulge and got lost in the forest. Had to make their way back, join another regiment, and then go toward. And by the time they rejoined that regiment, the war had ended. So it's like they got kind of lost during the last half of the last section of the war. It's pretty interesting. And then just watched some Jack Benny episodes on the Shout Factory disc. I rewatched the Dick Van Dyke episode, which is fun. Dick Van Dyke does a fun dance and then uses Jack's hand for a hat rack, which Dick Van Dyke's the only person who could use Jack Benny's hand for a hat rack. And then Jack abuses Dick Van Dyke's talent by making him play multiple roles within the span of one sketch and like tiring him out. And it's a fun little journey.
He had some weird last name like Hat Rack. That's a Nice Guys reference.
I love how we all just...
I probably don't remember it because it's the 7th best film of 2016.
Yeah, I figured I'd call you out on that one.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's all I watched this week.
Yeah, I didn't watch too much either. We talked about The Dead Don't Die. I saw Child's Play, but I guess we're saving that for next week.
Yeah, our guests would not mind seeing that. So if
we have a guest next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
They also do a podcast, and they wanted to team up.
Ooh.
Cross promote.
Busy. I watched Revenge of the Nerds. I haven't seen it in forever.
How was that?
My wife loves that movie. And I said, the person who doesn't like comedy and doesn't like stupid things, this is like the stupidest movie ever.
And apparently I read it's not appropriate for modern times.
Oh, no.
Oh, not at all.
Awful.
No. Anything from that era is
they have
like,
the
whoa.
Oriental
Your socially
guy.
conscious wife?
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. There's an Oriental guy who walks around and goes, thank you very much, thank you. And, oh, yeah. And there's
Worse than Mickey Rooney?
Oh,
Oh,
not as bad as Mickey Rooney from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Mickey Rooney's the standard
Yeah,
of
that's
terrible.
the standard.
And then there's so the nerds install hidden cameras in like the sorority house to watch them naked. Mm-hmm. Then they take a picture of the cheerleader naked and put her on the bottom of the pies. And the jocks want to know why the nerds are selling so many pies. It's because there's a topless photo of the head cheerleader who, the one nerd pretends that he's the quarterback and goes into a fun house and eats her out. And then she's, instead of getting mad for the rape, she says, are all nerds like this? And forget the fact that he put her picture at the bottom, naked picture at the bottom of a pie. Oh, no, they're together, and she's in love with him at the end.
Boys will be boys.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
it's funny, but it's
almost cringeworthy funny
it's a
now,
tough
right?
watch
It's
now.
like,
I mean, you can forgive some of the 80s stuff, but I guess it's still kind of funny. But
if you can watch it in context, I guess.
yeah, I mean, it's still. I mean, I'm not that big of a PC person. I can still enjoy it.
I rewatched it a few years ago, like just because I think it was on Netflix at one point, and I just watched it. and I'm like, ugh. I mean, it's funny, but ugh.
It's still fun. And the only other thing I watched is I started watching Crisis, and I'll talk about that next week. It's a Cary Grant film.
Oh.
But the other movie I watched straight through was Murder Mystery with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston.
Did you like
on
it?
Netflix. Yeah, it's actually pretty fun.
Okay.
What I liked about it, and this is kind of, I guess not really spoilerish, but the murders actually happened. I was concerned as I'm watching. I'm like, is this going to be that is all this ruse? Because the story is
it going to be like The Game?
yeah. The story is Adam Sandler is a New York City cop who can't pass the detective's exam, but he tells his wife he's a detective. Mm-hmm. And his wife's Jennifer Aniston. And he promised to take her to Europe for their honeymoon, and they never went. So she loves reading these detective romance novels or detective things, and then they turn out that they're in this big murder mystery. So I was thinking, Adam Sandler paid these people to be part of the murder mystery, but no, people really die. And I mean, there's some funny parts, and it's cool because Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, their marriage is really strong in it. There's no he's lying to her about being a detective or whatever.
But there's no infidelity.
Yeah, no infidelity. They're all really goofy, and they play off each other really well. It's a pretty harmless little film.
I was very interested in it, like for the first time in Sandler in a while, because it just kind of reminds me of like amateur detective, like screwball comedies,
Yeah.
like The Thin Man and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I guess that's a good, nice way of putting it. You know, Luke Evans is in it, and he's the handsome British guy,
Of course he is,
and
because he's a handsome British.
yes, he truly is a handsome British guy. That's the whole plot. Is they go to Europe and people are starting to get murdered, and they get tangled up in it, and it's fun.
Cool.
I mean, it's a nice 90 minutes to. Written by James Vanderbilt, Zodiac's James Vanderbilt.
Yeah, and Amazing Spider-Man's 1 and 2's James Vanderbilt.
And I was reading an interview with him. He was trying to get the movie made for a really long time, and the only way he was able to get it made is because Adam Sandler said, "I'll make it for you on Netflix." And
Okay.
and I just read that it's the most watched movie on Netflix in their history, like
Oh, really?
opening weekend, something like 40 million or 70 million streams.
Wow.
So that's why they keep on signing him to do new movies.
Good. That'll get all the funding and the green light go ahead for Zodiac 2. That we're not done yet.
Yes. Yeah. And that's all I watched this week.
I like movies like that when they don't use the couple to be like, this will be the thing that'll tear them apart and look how they get back together.
Yeah.
It's like when, I don't know. For
Yeah,
me,
because I mean, you're right. Because they even have a moment in it where she finds out that he's lying, and she gets pissed at him. But then they
work through it.
They team up later on, and they're like, you're an idiot, and he says, I know.
It's kind of
Right,
like
yeah.
Game Night. Like I liked in Game
Oh,
Night
yeah.
that the conflict between Bateman and McAdams is not like something over the top. Like it's
Exactly.
just very small and
Yeah.
kind of centrified on their fear of like growing
And
up.
and it's relatable from the Adam Sandler's character point of view. Is you're telling your wife you got detective, but you're too embarrassed to say that you can't pass the exam.
Mm-hmm.
I get.
That reminds me of Amazing Spider-Man
get it.
1 after Captain Stacy tells Peter, like, don't date my daughter. And then he just disappears in the funeral. So Gwen shows up at his house and he's just, she wants to know why he wasn't there for the funeral and he can't say anything. And like, I'm just like, this scene, all he has to say is like, your dad told me not to date you. And then she walks down the stairs and then turns around like, my dad told you not to date me, didn't he? It's like, what is this scene? It seems like such a waste of time.
There is. I would.
It's Mark
Do
Webb.
you
ladies and
have?
gentlemen.
Are you streaming it or do you have?
I have the 4K discs.
There is a director's cut of that.
Oh, on the disc?
I think it's on the
Blu-ray?
where there's about 10 minutes more of scenes with dialogue, which I think they kind of hit, that scene's a little longer. And because there's also a scene with Kirk Connors that's a lot longer.
But yeah, just talking about like having like a couples.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Where you just like in your head, you're just like, just say this right now.
Yeah, just
And they
use
don't
your
do it.
mouth words,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I love Risa Fons as an actor, but when I watched him in Amazing Spider-Man, I was just like, oh, it's not Dylan Baker.
Yep.
Poor Dylan Baker.
Yep.
Oh, wait up, you guys. Doesn't Corinne have a Catching the Classics for us this week?
Hey nerds, Corinne here for part 20.6 of Catching the Classics, which is actually part 6 of Catching the Miyazaki Classics, where I'm going through all of the films that have been directed by Hayao Miyazaki. This week I tackled his directorial debut, which is Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro. So I'll give you a little bit of context about this movie, and then I'll do the synopsis and then just kind of general thoughts and critiques. I won't go into like a ton of detail on the critique part because I have a lot to say about this movie, but I won't bore you guys, and I'll just try to put most of it in the article, which if you haven't read the articles yet, you should go check out realnerdspodcast.com. All of my Hayao Miyazaki movie reviews are going to be up there, and I won't sound like a total dumbass when you're reading them, so I tend to ramble when I'm talking, but if you read it, I sound much smarter than I actually am. So go check out the website. So this movie is, well, first of all, it's rough. This is, without a doubt, the worst Miyazaki movie of the bunch. And so he has 11 films. I've seen half of them prior to doing this series. I've already watched the ones I hadn't seen. This was the last one I hadn't seen. So now I've seen all of Miyazaki's movies, and I can definitively say this is the worst one. So this is actually, it's not a spin-off, but it's a self-contained story within the universe of Lupin III, which is an anime from, I believe it was the 70s that Hayao Miyazaki directed. I don't know, all the episodes, at least some of them. So this is, I don't know if you guys know how anime movies work, but it's kind of like a self-contained story where, depending on the circumstances, you could potentially watch it and not have seen the movie or not have seen the anime and still enjoy the movie, which was kind of the case here. Like, you didn't need a lot of background. They set you up pretty well. But yeah, it's like within the anime, like the TV show, they don't talk about anything that happened in the movie before or after. It's very much it's self-contained story within this universe. It has the characters, it has the feel and the emotion or the tone of whatever series it is. But anyway, so this is a movie of the TV anime Lupin the Third, and so here's the synopsis. I won't go into spoilers. So Lupin the Third is actually that's his name, Lupin the Third, but he goes by Wolf in the English version. Which, side note, I know I had said like I wasn't sure how I was going to find this. It's actually on Netflix, and you can watch it there with the English dub. I think it also has the option to watch it in the Japanese voice version as well. But anyway, Wolf is a thief, this like masterclass criminal, and he and his partner in crime, Jigen, rob this casino. And as they're making their getaway, they've outrun everybody, and they're like, haha, they've got millions of dollars or whatever. And they realize that the money is counterfeit. So they're like, oh, well, this is like the best counterfeiting we've ever seen. We should go find whoever's running this counterfeiting operation and just take it over. So that leads them to the country of Cagliostro, which is, I guess it's supposed to be kind of like Montserrat or something, because it's this very tiny European country. It only has like 3,500 people in it, so pretty dang small. And they bump into the princess, although they don't know she's the princess at the time, and they figure out that the princess and the Count of Cagliostro, who has the eponymous castle of Cagliostro, they're going to get married. So they're both descended from the family of the Cagliostros. You have like the princess is supposed to be kind of the light side of the family, and you have the Count, who's supposed to be kind of the dark side, where he's involved with all sorts of like criminal operations to have the country like succeed, and assassinations and whatever. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the entire setup, is that Wolf, and then his two, Jigen and his other friend, try to break up the wedding between the princess and the Count. So, yeah, like I said, this is a really rough movie. The animation, I know obviously it's older than any of the other Miyazaki movies. This was 1979, so it is the first one of Miyazaki's films, and you can definitely tell it looks old. And at least with Nausicaa, like, it's the second oldest, and I think it was early 80s or something. But Nausicaa the animation in Nausicaa has not aged as poorly as the animation in this movie. It's very rough, and the fact that it's an anime does not help it, because everything is exaggerated, and like the motion and everything is very different from a typical Miyazaki movie. And that's one of the things that kind of makes me mad sometimes, is people will be like, oh, Miyazaki, he's anime, and I'm like, not really. I mean, obviously it's Japanese style animation, but it's not anime. Anime, in my opinion, is where you kind of have Japanese style animation, yes, but you also kind of have like expressions are over exaggerated. People defy the laws of physics like constantly. It's kind of almost sort of like Looney Tunes, like Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote type stuff, but just the Japanese version of it. where, you know, how like Wile E. Coyote will be hanging in the air and then it takes him like 5 seconds before he starts to fall and he's like, oh, what? Anyway, but yeah, I would say that the traditional Miyazaki movies are kind of in this middle ground between Japanese anime and the kind of traditional Western animation like Disney, because they look kind of like Disney films, like they move and everybody kind of has like their own thing that they're doing, and it's not super, you know, dramatic most of the time. There are a couple of instances, but for the most part, it's a cartoon that looks like it's in the Japanese style, but it's not anime. It's a little bit closer to like Western animation. So, what else can I tell you about this movie? There's not like a lot of plot to it. When I watched it the first time, I was very like blah about it, and I was like, well, maybe that wasn't fair. And I think once I knew, because I was expecting like, you know, actual like true Miyazaki, and then watching it, I was like, ugh, what is this nonsense? And so I was like, okay, that maybe wasn't fair. I have to meet this movie on its own terms. And so I rewatched most of it. I fast forwarded through a couple of sequences, and honestly, it was like 2/3 of the movie that I ended up watching, because a third of it is just Lupin or the wolf breaking into the castle or breaking out of the castle, and it's like, you could fast forward through that. It's fine. The characters are, you know, they're cute and memorable, I guess. I do think the one thing I'll say about the movie that I liked is that they gave you good, like, even though I have not seen Lupin the Third, I don't know who these people are, they gave you a good kind of, here, let's help everybody catch up, but not like talk down to you while they're doing it. So it's like quick, like here's kind of refresh, like FYI, here's what's going on, but they don't like shoehorn it in. It's not super like over exposition or anything. It's very succinct and it's very productive. And the voice cast is really good. I don't know anybody on there. It's all the people from the TV show as far as I understand. So that's cool. I didn't really like the ending. That's something I'll probably talk about more in the article. But yeah, it's not good. I understand why the library didn't have it, because it is definitely the worst of Miyazaki's movies. And it's just, it's like a quick adventure film, but it's very much, like I said, in the kind of vein of Japanese anime rather than what Miyazaki later went on to do, where he almost kind of has his own sort of animation sphere within Japanese animation, where it's not anime, but it's not Western animation, but it's something kind of in between a little bit. So I'm going to give it a C-. Maybe a C. But yeah, like I said, this is the worst of them, and you can skip it. Although, again, it is on Netflix, so I guess if you were super interested, you could check it out if you have Netflix. It's Lupin the Third, The Castle of Cagliostro. And like I said, I'm going to give it a C. So next time, I'm going to watch what you all like to call the movie for babies. It's not the movie for babies. Ponyo, which was kind of, I think, one of the more recent Miyazaki movies. I think it's like 2005 or 2008 or something. So I don't know why you guys shit on it so much, but I haven't seen it in a while, so I'll have to revisit it. And again, I think it's one of those movies you have to meet on its own terms, because it is for a younger audience. But anyway, that'll be next week. Ponyo is next week. So, hope you all had fun at your movie, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.
Thanks, Corinne. That's some amazing insight about the Castle of Cagliostro. Next week, we'll talk more in depth about it. What's next, Ryan?
This week on Real Nerds Podcast, we saw Toy Story 4. Brad, should people see Toy Story 4?
So I don't think I've ever had to like fight so hard to not cry in a movie before. Yeah, the very end. So no surprise, I had an obnoxious audience, like full on, just like I wrote them up, nothing happened, and they always did it at like I saw the emotional part coming from Pixar. I was like, here it is. This is why the movie exists. And then blah 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 blah, and I miss it. And so I basically watched a really fun movie, but I know it's deeper than that. And then finally I got to the end, and I was like, there it is. That's what I came to see. And I kind of knew from the trailer that it was going there, but it still surprised me. And it's the fourth movie of Toy Story, and it's still good. So definitely go see it.
Do you have to see the other ones in order to get that context that you're talking about, or is
No,
this
I
one
think it stands
standalone?
pretty well on
You don't
its
have to
own.
know it, but I think the impact is stronger if you've
There
lived
we
with
go.
these characters
through
all
of them. Because
Yeah.
I think I know I've seen the first one and I love that one. I know I haven't seen the third one because everybody talks about that one makes them cry so much.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal.
I may have seen the second one, but I do love the series. So
Yeah, I'd say the third one's finale is more shocking and probably more dynamic. This one, we'll talk about it more in the thing.
So I
don't want to spoil it.
I have a funny
Yeah,
story
yeah.
about the Dead Don't Die. So, sorry, totally go off topic. So I went to the Alamo, and it was kind of full, but it was full on the top part. So you know how it's divided,
Right.
So I go into the second row. Nobody's in there, and I sit down, and halfway through the previews, these two people come in. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. They're going to sit in this row. So So at the Alamo, you know, two chairs take up one table.
Right.
So it's a dude and his girlfriend. And the dude buys a seat right next to me, not on the same table as his girlfriend. The rest of the row, there's no one else even in the row. There's no one in the row behind me. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
They wanted you for a three-way.
I'm like, dude, at least just get the seat next to your girlfriend. You don't have to sit next to me.
right.
And then I was like, man, I got popcorn, and it's really awkward. Anyways.
I did that at Endgame. It wasn't at Alamo, but I guess this is just like,
Yeah.
But I went to go see Endgame finally, and I sit down. Everybody has, what seat do you want? And I'm like, that one where nobody is,
Yeah.
because I always wait a while. I don't need to see anything the first night. It's always crowded. So I gave it time. I want that seat all the way in the back, kind of in the middle. Nobody has any seats around it. This family comes up, two adults and two kids. The two kids sit down one row, and the adults sit behind them. The first thing that the guy does, he pulls out this like bag from obviously like a grocery store, so he had food in it, and he hits the bag to open it wider every time he eats something out of it, so it's just every time, right?
Yeah.
The kid, I just kind of took a breath, just like, whatever, people are going to do whatever they want. The kid starts getting a little restless. He comes up, sits in the mom's lap. It's a little distracting, but again, I'm like, it's a family that's going together. They're growing memories, and that's great. And then you hear them arguing a little bit. Go sit down. He sits down. He's getting bored, so he starts running up and down the stairs, right? And the parents do absolutely nothing. They don't even say stop. One guy, finally, who was sitting near the kid as he's running up and down the stairs, he just, as he's running by, out of nowhere just goes, sit down! And the kid starts crying and goes and sits down. And their parents didn't get mad at the guy. They didn't say anything to him, like, don't talk to my kid. But, like, what are you doing? Yeah. I get it, bring kids, and that's fine. But
no self-awareness.
But they have that little self-awareness that's like, hey, I need to step out of the movie with you because we are in a public space. We are all in this together, but we need to make sure that we're reining each other in. And anyway,
I forgot to say the couple that was like not even whispering. Like the one woman was just flat out saying all of her thoughts. So
that's Woody.
Yeah.
Does he buzz or?
I think there's something like, oh, I know that voice.
picking out
the voice
the
in that
actors.
character. Yeah, it's like
I know that's Tom Arnold.
like they're trying to impress the person they're with. Like, oh, I know so much about the movie. Like, you can save that till after. But close to the end, I hear more chatter coming from them, and the dude is actually standing up. And I think we've been through this scenario before. Yeah, I know. I just spit on that. on the Tascam. He's like walking down the stairs, and like I hear something about a phone, and so they're arguing, and he like will like go up and down the stairs out to the hallway and then back, and they're still like kind of mumbling something about a phone. I'm like, didn't we encounter this same scenario where someone like lost their phone in the middle of the movie and then, like made a big deal about trying to find it? Yeah, right.
Oh, fuck.
It's like I can't believe I'm going through this twice.
Yeah. Oh man, what movie was that? It was at Denver West. I remember that.
And it was a long time ago.
It was a really
but
long time ago.
It was.
Where's my phone? I need to find my phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna interrupt this whole movie to. Yeah.
Fuck. Now I'm gonna think about that.
And then I think he just disappeared. Like I don't think he ever came back because it was so close to the end.
Yeah, maybe he died.
Yeah. Or maybe he was just like,
only
I
you had phone to
cannot
call
stand this
911.
voice anymore that constantly is talking to
I hope
me.
so. That'd be
Just
awesome.
left
He
her there.
ordered an Uber. That's why he was panicking about his phone.
He's trying to make up some excuse like, yeah, I lost my phone. I'm gonna go find it and ditch you here.
That'd be awesome.
Ryan, don't mince your words and say maybe he died. Just say I hope he died.
Yeah.
Zach, should people go see Toy Story 4?
This is a Toy Story movie that has Keanu Reeves, Key and Peele, and ventriloquist dummies as henchmen. So it's naturally my favorite of the Toy Story movies. No, yeah, of course go see this. I'm actually shocked that they were able to find a way to do an intimate character story after you do something as I'd call 3 epic to a degree, because it is a conclusion and it has that big thing at the end with the fire. But I mean, I think this is one of Tom Hanks's best voiceover performances as Woody, just because he has a lot more to kind of like work with emotionally in this film than he has since I think the second one. And I actually like that there's some themes about older toys from the second one being used differently here. Yeah, it's a wonderful time. And it's animation wise, it's continuing Pixar's trend of like blending realistic with their look. Like the stuff with the lights in the antique shop and the rain in the opening scene in Toy Story 4 are some of the best animation I've seen ever. So, yeah, I would definitely go see this movie. And yes, you will cry.
Yeah, the movie's awesome. The animation is first rate. What I really liked about this, Woody is one of my favorite Disney characters, and it's a Woody movie, and it's a lot about his journey and how he feels about things. So, yeah, definitely go see Toy Story 4. Here's the trailer for Toy Story 4.
Woody? Why am I alive? You are a toy. You belong to Bonnie. These are your friends.
Woody, I have a question. Well, actually, not just one. I have all the questions.
Who wants to go on a road trip?
Me!
Vacation! You need help with that? No, I got it. I know, this is a little strange, but we all have to make sure nothing happens to Forky.
Something happened to him.
Buzz, we gotta get Forky.
Roger that.
The panic is attacking me. Change of plans. Jesse, Ham, Buzz, Bo, Rex, Potato Head.
Hey, watch it, buddy.
Where do we go?
Let's go save a spork.
Do I need to be worried?
Well, my guys are veterans. They'll hang in there.
On my way, Woody.
Oh.
I know the perfect toy to help.
Duke Kaboom, Canada's greatest stuntman. Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
He's posing.
Yeah.
Duke, we need
Hold
to...
on. One more. Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Whoa!
Woody'll save me. I've known that guy my whole life. 2 days.
Is that how we look on the inside? There's so much fluff.
We have to find him, Mom.
Bonnie needs Forky.
Aw, Sheriff Woody always coming to the rescue. That's gonna be quite a jump for you and Duke.
For me?
Let's kaboom.
Go! That's where Forky is being kept.
How do we get that key? What about the old plush rush? There you go.
Oh, where did you two come from?
Well, we're not doing that.
Yeah, he is the focus.
Yep.
Him and Bo, Buzz gets stuff to do, but that's the thing about this Toy Story is
he had his one. The first Toy Story is really a Buzz movie.
Yeah,
Right.
and he's had a lot to do in the second and thirds as well.
They're all the same voice actors.
Yeah. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. Because I appreciated that. It's a side of Woody that I didn't really think about much when I watched the first three. I never really pondered that notion, of what motivates and drives him. I kind of just expected it, but then again, I've seen these movies since I was a kid, but I don't always go back to them every day. So, I like when it's after they've escaped the hench dummies, and Bo keeps asking why he has to do this. It's because this is all I've got. This is all I'm able to do. Because I thought Forky was going to be the existential crisis, but I think Woody's having Woody's crisis is way more prominent because Forky's not.
He's just the catalyst.
Forky's like a MacGuffin. He moves the plot along to a certain extent, but he is important, but he's not vital to Woody's development.
Yeah, it's because Woody throughout the series has always been about helping the children and helping them cope with whatever it is. He even does it in this one. He makes sure that he goes to kindergarten with Bonnie because, she's going to struggle. And in a way, by going to kindergarten and help create Forky, he actually creates his replacement. And he doesn't realize that right away. But he slowly does. And it's a great journey that Woody goes on. I love when Forky gets blown out or jumps out of the RV and Woody goes after him. And then they're walking to the RV park and Woody is explaining to him how much Andy means to him and how much it means to be a toy. And
because Forky up to that point is just calling himself trash. And his purpose in life is to go into the trash can.
Yeah. And
that is a great montage of him keep throwing himself in the trash.
Yeah, and there's great moments too where Forky won't walk and Woody's dragging him, and then he'll pop up. And he says, "Carry me," and Woody won't. And then after Woody pours his heart out to him, the next shot is Woody carrying Forky.
Yeah.
Just this description makes me want to cry.
Oh yeah, no, there's moments where even so Gabby Gabby is the mafia boss with the ventriloquist henchman, but you soon learn that she's really not a bad person. She's just effective, and Woody's voice box is not. So she wants Woody to get the mechanics out of his voice box, so she sounds like she's not broken, and a child will take her home. And you see stuff like this, and it goes beyond toys.
Right.
You're talking to how people feel.
Right. That's exactly it. I was just about to say I can identify with that completely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just inherently broken and trying to be fixed.
And I was expecting because Sir Hugs-a-Lot or whatever from the last movie.
Oh, Lotso.
Lots of hugs. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, he was by the end still like a villain who got his comeuppance, but in a very Miyazaki way. Gabby Gabby, it kind of surprised me that they let her kind of you got your dream,
they played
and
with
I
your
didn't.
expectation of Toy Story villains.
And she even because that scene where Woody goes back to get Forky because they lost Forky again, and she's telling him, she said, I've heard your story. You've had 2 children that have loved you. You know what I've done? I've sat up in this shelf for years. Nobody pays attention to me. Nobody loves me
because I was born with this
defect,
disability,
and it's and I have this tear strike. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? And Woody makes a sacrifice that it's a great come around because remember in Toy Story 2, he's vintage and he's the greatest toy ever and he's pristine and
he's valuable,
and he realizes that his value is with giving children's memories, and he has these memories and Gabby Gabby doesn't have them. So him willingly giving Gabby Gabby his voice box and his pull string, it says everything about his character, and that's why I love Woody, and you're building up to a moment with Woody that I wasn't expecting because you spend this whole time. I mean, Toy Story 3 is devastating when Andy's giving his toys to Bonnie, and he doesn't realize that Woody's in the box too. And that Bonnie wants Woody, and him letting go of that part of him and Woody fulfilling being played with again is important to him. But in this one, it's Woody being Woody, which is really important. He's never had himself.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a purpose. And Bo brings that up to him. And she's like,
when are you gonna make time for yourself?
When you make time for yourself, are you really am I lost toy? I'm not a lost toy.
No.
I get to go to a different carnival all the time. I meet new children, and it's a very interesting way of looking at it.
Which the moment, like, I think about halfway through when he and Bo are hanging out, I kind of realized, like, he's not going to be joining the rest of the group. But I almost, like, in the back of my head was just like, no, he can't do that. He can't do that. Oh, my God, he fucking did it.
And then Buzz has to learn how to be a leader in the movie.
Exactly.
Because Woody's not around.
His inner voice.
They even have a great where Woody explains to Buzz what a conscience is, and Buzz doesn't understand. So his conscience is his buttons on his action figure, and it's like, spring into action, Space Ranger.
It's the secret mission in an uncharted space. Like,
yeah, or when he's trying to, he wants to stay and help, but every time he pushes, it's like, run away, retreat. Just things like that. Toy Story, I think, works so well because it's so much deeper than a lot of the animation films. Because
right.
I mean, I took Kellen, and Kellen watched the whole movie and loved it, but he also loves Secret Life of Pets, where it's complete utter garbage. Where
it's like silly just to be silly.
It's silly to be silly. You're going from scene to scene. I refuse to take him to see Secret Life of Pets too. My wife took him because in Secret Life of Pets, it's this dog is coming in and I don't like him, and then you find out that his owner died and that's why he was adopted. But it doesn't have the same emotional core because the characters aren't developed as well.
Right.
And at where Pixar, even though this is the fourth Toy Story, but you have an emotional connection to Forky. Because I forget what's the name of the knife that she makes at the end.
Did it have a name?
Maybe no.
No, they didn't give.
I don't
remember.
Knifey.
Probably Knifey.
So she says, "What's it like to be alive?" And the last thing he says is, "I don't know," and that's the end of the fucking movie.
She says, "Are we alive?" He goes, "How are we alive?" And he goes, "I don't know."
Yeah,
which answered a core question about the Toy Story universe that's been like, well, I mean. It's not a question that needed to be answered. It's fucking toys come to life.
I mean, that's a question for everybody.
Yeah.
Why
angry
am I here?
skeptics on the internet.
And I mean, they even have a great bit with the unicorn where he wants the dad to go to jail. And
it's totally going to jail.
and that they are able to manipulate the RV at the end where he gets pulled over by police, and then they cut to him. He says, "Oh, he's going to jail," because he's been talking about it for 2 hours, trying to get him to go to jail to delay him. And it's great.
This sounds like a great movie, man.
Oh, it's amazing.
I have a lot of favorite moments. One of them, though, like in the Toy Stories 2 and 3, they play a lot with the trope of a toy being abandoned, and that's why they become evil, or that's why they're disjointed. I like how they kind of make it a joke with the captain, with Duke Kaboom.
Yeah, Duke
where he's
Kaboom.
like, "This is for you, Rajan."
What's he doing? Posing.
It's a commercial.
There's even a funny bit where they.
I'm gonna do it with my
Woody
eyes closed.
meets Duke Kaboom for the first time, and he says, "You had a kid." No, don't tell him that. I had a kid once. And it flashes back to 1970s French Canada.
It must be the 70s because Evil Knievel time. Yeah.
And what was the follow up to that? Because it's like that kind of a typical like boyfriend girlfriend relationship thing where it's like the girl's introducing to the guy who's a friend that who's clearly had a more exciting life. Yeah. And Woody's just standing there back there, like having to endure it. And then what is it like? Who would do a stupid thing? Are you that stupid guy?
They described this as early on as production that it was supposed to be a romantic comedy, and it very much is in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, it's the relationship between Bo and Woody,
and it's also the relationship between Gabby and the finding love herself.
Oh yeah, man, I was devastated. So the spoilers, the scene where. She finally gets her voice box and she pulls it and she says, "Hi, I'm Gabby. Gabby, will you be my friend, or do you love me? I love you," whatever it says. And all she wants to do is have tea time with this little girl who comes into the antique shop named Harmony. And so she's finally pristine, and her voice box works, and the little girl picks her up, and they set up earlier on that this little girl will just come to the antique shop and take a toy.
Or grandma runs it.
Yeah, or grandma runs it and she'll take a toy to the carnival. So if she first takes Woody, and then she picks up Gabby, pulls her string, and the grandma says, "Oh, you can take her with you," and she says, "Nope," and just throws her in the trash. Like,
Yeah.
What?
That was their first interaction or the last interaction?
The last interaction.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, first and last, because she was in the glass case the whole time before that.
So yeah, it's
brutal.
deep.
It's brutal.
I also forgot we were talking about Bo Peep. Like, so there was all that talk about like she was missing from Toy Story 3. What happened? And they worked it into this story.
Oh yeah, and talk about
it.
beautiful animation. Holy cow!
The scenes in the rain. Holy shit!
So not only you're
part of why I was excited about this movie. I was like, it's been 10 years in animation growth. Like, how much better is it going to look from Toy Story 3? And it's because The Good Dinosaur.
Oh yeah,
created like photorealistic landscapes. And this, like,
he's talking to her, and the water effects, and
when Slinky Dog is hanging out the window, and there's little beads of water on his rings, like the attention to detail, and then like the dust bunnies in the antique shop and the cobwebs, like so much attention to detail.
Even when they're outside at night at the carnival and the lighting and the reflections off the toys and how it interacts, it's stunning.
And Tin Toy, when they go to like the club, like the in-joke Pixar character, like they reshaded him so it looks like this worn, like just so like he's almost kind of wood instead of plastic.
And
now.
The movements too of the ventriloquist dummies, the way they acted. I mean, you're talking these guys at Pixar are just geniuses. It's a stunning achievement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's a lot of funny lines in it. Like, right off the bat, like one of my favorite ones is Woody at this point isn't getting played with, which I liked that was like a character trait they pushed in. Like he's kind of like still trying to run the room, even though
he's becoming less and less relevant.
Well, it's like the doll, because the doll kind of runs the room, like the dolly runs the room. But he's left in the closet with all the older toys, and he gets a dust bunny. Like, oh, your first dust bunny. When are you gonna name it? And then, like, I think Mel Brooks' character yells out Tumbleweed, and he's like, well, it makes sense. He's a cowboy, so Tumbleweed. It's this small line that you hear in the background, and I was just laughing my butt off.
And there's even a funny joke. So Key and Peele are always attached to each other.
Yeah,
which is a funny meta joke where they're always relatable, and then they go through these things where they're going to attack the old lady.
I love the prolonged one where they like draw it out to a horror film length proportion.
You have laser eyes.
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah.
Whoa.
So the movie's wonderful, and at the end, I was crying.
How'd you guys get the key? It was really tough.
Yeah,
I want to see this now.
Yeah, when Woody says goodbye, I was pretty, because it feels like the actual end of Toy Story. Because when you separate Buzz and Woody, I mean that's the end. I mean those two are the.
That's how it started.
They started coming together, and now it's them going away.
So the crying ratio is the crying scale is that you start off crying a little bit because you know it's coming, and then Jesse and Bullseye hug, and then the whole group hugs, and then it gets to Buzz, and then you just lose it and start going onto the floor sobbing.
And they do a whole full circle, because at the beginning, Woody gets his sheriff badge taken off and it's put on Jesse.
Oh wow!
And then when they get out of the closet, Jesse gives it back to Woody and he puts it on.
And
then at the end, when Woody leaves, he gives it to Jesse, and it's like, "You're the sheriff now."
And they also had like an endgame moment where it's like, "She's gonna be okay, Woody."
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
You can move on.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
because Buzz can see. He's like,
you
should just be with her.
Yep. That's awesome.
And it's great.
So next week our doll theme is continuing with Child's Play and Annabelle Comes Home. We'll be talking about those films. Chad, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Why don't you give a shout out one more time where people can register for the 40-Hour Film Project?
So you can register for the Denver 48-Hour Film Project at www.48hourfilm.com. Find us on Facebook. I do a lot of my stuff on Facebook. Just search for Denver 48-Hour Film Project, and you should be able to find us. I'm trying to be super interactive. I made business cards with the 48-Hour, and my personal phone number's on there. You can text me, call me anytime. I don't care. My love of film and supporting each other and growing the community here is it runs deep, and so I just want to get together with people.
That's another thing. Over the weekend of filming, you are also like on call. For
If you have any questions or anything like that, I know one year somebody made a film and they had to make a call because they had the character, but the character was not seen on screen, and they had to like call somebody really quickly, and so
to check the rules.
Yeah, check rules and stuff like that. So,
and also, I haven't checked the website yet. Is the list of genres up already?
Yeah, genres are out there.
Because I know you don't. Every year, it kind of rotates in and out a few.
Right.
So.
We have 2. I think they dropped a couple of them, and they put a couple new ones in. One of the new ones, I think, is climate and political, and as separate genres. And I'm like, that's pretty bold in this this day and age. Of doing a political one can be really pretty insane. So,
yeah, that'll be interesting to see who tackles that one.
Right, for Denver. I mean, and it all depends on who gets it and what their point of view is.
Western musical.
Right, that one's always the killer, but
yeah.
It's all about being inventive, thinking on your feet, thinking quick.
So you don't choose those. That's the
nope,
main
they come from
office.
Headquarters, yep.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, most of the stuff that I get to do and I get to choose is like location of where we show the films, when we're doing dates and stuff like that. And this year I did kind of get it wrong a little bit, so I'll make sure to take all the lessons that I think are not failures, but everything that I see is what could be a hiccup, making sure I have that written down and adjusting dates, times, places according to what the community wants and what the community needs. And that's a big thing too, is give me feedback. Go on Facebook, post anything you want, tell me I'm an asshole. That's fine, because it's all about knowing what people want, what people need, and trying to do what we can together as a community on the whole to bring us all up.
Are you looking to expand the audience? Like, because you said you have room for 50 teams, 60 teams?
60 teams, yeah.
Because I know like LA has like 158 for theirs or something. Is that like something you envision Denver doing, or is it just like 60's good?
For me, for right now, 60's good. I've got a really good foundation to work off of. But if we start expanding, I do definitely want to expand. But if we start expanding faster than I can handle, I might start throwing up again.
Because there's the benefit of like if you have more teams, you can afford larger places to screen.
Right, exactly.
So,
we can go bigger. My thing is, the meet and greets, they've been pretty small. Anywhere from I think 10 to 12 people we've had coming out to some of these, and I want to make these more of more events, and I really want to do something after the best of screening, and just so that people can just hang out and interact with one another. I know that in previous years there have been things where it's like, okay, we're going to go over to the after the screening, there you get 5% off somewhere or whatever, so go over there and we'll all hang out, and then you show up, but you see everybody's group sitting separately just wherever, and they're in their own group. What I really want to do, and what I'm really going to try and push forward for everybody is mixing up the groups, not to mix up the groups and do something different, but to interact with one another and have conversations about what do you like about film, why is your film different, what do you like to do, and just building from there.
Have one station with punch, have the other station with pie. People will come if you have punch and pie.
That's right.
More people will come.
We were understanding there were to be pie and punch. There is no pie and punch.
No punch.
Oh.
So thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate
Anytime.
It. Hey, we're here. Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Drafthouse in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.